Welcome, 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 everybody. It is 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yes, 3 days, in fact, before the very hype Modern Horizons 3 content creator early access event on MTGO, which I will be participating in, as says probably in the title a little bit somewhere. Yeah, MH3 Early Access stream on June 7th. I and a bunch of other legacy creators will be participating in this event. So to prep for that, and because I don't really want to or need to play prelims anymore, hey guys, not right now. We will be doing a deck brewing stream today. I've never really done something like this before, so I'm hoping that it works out well. If I kind of burn out too fast, if it's not like interesting for a lot of people, we might just kind of switch gears and run a league or something. Notably, I did top 8 the Legacy RCQ on the Moto RCQ on Friday with Moonstompy, the same list that I played on stream in the Legacy Showcase Challenge. This deck's still very good until the new meta, obviously. But not really interested in like testing or playing in this meta at this point. We're about a week out. We're literally a week out from the official release, right? Tuesday is when it should drop on Moto. Tuesday the 11th. So I just like have no interest in playing this format right now. Just kind of a lame duck format for the next week. No brainstorms, Madge. Yeah, this is a brainstorm free space for anyone that doesn't feel comfortable around brainstorms. We're all good here. Hello, Katie. How's it going? So basically, we're just gonna be brewing. I got like probably 5 or 6 deck ideas kicking around, and then we're gonna go through, make sure I didn't miss any. Make sure I didn't miss any Modern Horizons cards that would be interesting to try to put in Legacy decks. Slick Shot deck list. I mean, that's a card that already exists, so like not a card that I would really be interested in putting into decks, but like if a deck ends up wanting Slick Shot, then maybe, I guess, but Doorkeeper Thralls? Yeah, Doorkeeper Thrall, famously a card that we all love and appreciate on this channel. 2024 Showcase Avatar was announced. Do you see? No, I didn't. Do you have a link? Oh, was it just in like this week's MTGO? Can I just like search MTGO announcements? Did they announce all the June archives? Maybe this will give me the weekly articles. Today is June 4th, maybe. Premier play information. Wait, no, this isn't what I wanted. No, this is not where it is. Modern Horizons page. Modern Horizons 3 on Magic Online. Maybe. Aha! Avatars. What do we get? Days? One day we'll get a card that I enjoy. What do we got? So, I can't actually check. Because I'm on the Daybreak account, not my official account. But I can see 0 of all the avatars. We should be able to find the legacy ones, right? Can we like search? We can filter by avatar. I assume all the legacy ones will be together based on name. Maybe down near the bottom. Not actually sure. Oh, I think... Oh, here's Poppers. Standard 2023, Vintage 2023. I would have loved to get this one, but it's a vintage one, not a legacy one. Yeah, we have Brazen Borrower, which seems kind of, I don't know, seems kind of a cop-out. I think these are chronological, so I think I need to scroll backwards in time, right? We got Urza Saga. Urza Saga's not bad. 2021 was Brainstorm. I mean, it's like not the great Brainstorm art, but also pretty classic. Reanimate was 2020, and like I think 2019 was just Force of Will, right? Yeah. Force of Will, Reanimate, Brainstorm, Urza Saga. What was 2023? Brazen Borrower, and then Days. Come on, are we just really gonna just print like every Delver card? And I guess we have Out of the, what, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, out of the 6, we have, like, 4 Delver cards, right? Like, Brazen Bar really rubs me the wrong way. All the other cards are, like, pretty iconic. Urza Saga, I guess not quite, because it's, like, iconic in every format. You gotta put it in one of them. But, like, Brazen Borrower, really? We couldn't have done something better for 2023? We gave White Plume to Vintage! Like, White Plume was also breaking Legacy! 2024 would be Orcish Bowmaster. That would make sense too. That'd be like Orcish Bowmaster would be fine. At least we didn't get like Grief. Grief was this MagicCon Las Vegas avatar. That's why we didn't get Grief. Or like Modern didn't get Grief. Yeah, Swords to Plowshares would be a good one. Yeah, we could do a white card or like Wasteland. Can we do? I guess avatars are usually like characters, right? Maybe that's part of the issue. Well, no, we have Urza Saga, right? That's a land. It's like it's got Urza on it, I guess, but like we could do icon. I'm sure Wasteland would be fine as an avatar. I'm sure people would appreciate it, even if it's like more of an abstract thing. Love tuning into XJR used to chat about artistry. No, I'm not even. I'm just mad now. I'm just mad about it being days after Brazen Borrower. What did we get? What did we get for Eternal Weekend? Does anyone remember? What did we get for Eternal Weekend promos? For like the magic cards. It's Dragon's Rage Channeler and like something? What was 2023's? Ponder? Yeah, Ponder and Dragon's Rage Channeler. We don't have to give everything to Delver players. Wizards. Like, come on. Other decks exist. Ponder, DRC, Brainstorm, Daze, Brazen Borrower, Force of Will. No shot. We could Google this. Eternal Weekend 2023 cards, right? Yeah, see, we get Dragon's Rage Channeler. Then 2024 was... Oh, well, this didn't work, huh? 2023 works so... Oh, because this year's 2024. I'm stupid. 2022? Does this work? Maybe? Hard to tell. Oh, Ponder and Gush, yeah. Anyway, chat's distracting me. Except for the one chatter who let me know that I will be earning a Daze avatar, which is fun, but also, Daze avatar. Anyway, let's cook some decks, chat. Let's do something cool instead of complaining about Delver. When Delver's not even like the cream of the crop right now. I guess Daze is also I guess we could also complain that all the avatars except for Urza Saga are scam cards, right? Because it's just Delver cards plus reanimate. What's up, Dukes? How's it going? I'm doing very well. I'm excited for Friday. Hope to see you there. Everyone wants to showcase avatars someday. That's true. I do enjoy the fact that I am of a select few that has all the Legacy Showcase avatars. What's on Friday? The Modern Horizons Early Access stream. I will be streaming Legacy with a bunch of other content creators throughout the day. I'm going to have a really long stream. I have no idea when I'm going to end, but, like, Aishnaz is out of town. I'm just going to be at home with 3 animals and nothing to do. I will be streaming from, like, 11 a.m. probably, sometime around then, until I gas out. Yes, I know Katie's going to be at the beach, even though my stream is dedicated to Jory. Fucked up. Katie won't be there to appreciate my Jory-dedicated stream. All right, let's actually brew a deck. Chat needs to stop distracting me, huh? Chat, what deck do we want to see? I did a little bit of we brewed like what D&T might look like, right? Hey, dog, not right now. Come on, do I need to kick you out? We make mono white D&T. This was we did a little brewing, early brewing during the last stream I had. Hey, dog, get out of here. This is kind of what I was thinking for a mono white DNT deck. So we don't have the MH3 cards on Moto yet, so these have some like weird fillers. Like Alpine Watchdog is Felia, and Emeria's Call is Witch Enchanter. I've come a little bit around on Felia. It's a card that I'm probably gonna, and the Knight of the White Orchid is White Orchid Phantom. Let me look up actual Felia so we don't have to look at Alpine Watchdog. Felia probably right here, right? Yeah. It's such a good placeholder. I think we just typed in dog into the card search and then found one that's, hey, it's a 2/2 for 1 and away. It's perfect. And it's dog creature type. But when I first saw Felia, I was like pretty disappointed, and I didn't think the card was going to be playable at all. And now I'm just pretty confident the card's not going to be playable, but I'm interested enough to try it a little bit. Why have I come around? Just kind of, I don't know, just thinking about it. I might like come around after playing the card a little bit. It's just like, after thinking about the play patterns that the card helps out with, I'm more interested in it than I was before, but I'm still like pretty down on the card in terms of legacy playability. But like, the reason that I'm not interested in it is because it's a card that shines in the grindy matchups the grindy matchups are the ones that are the most interactive and the ones where you're not going to be able to get you're going to extract a lot of value out of this card because it's just going to be a removal target, right? But like D&T is a lot of ways around that. If it's, you get to like 3 mana with a Caracas, you can cast Felia and hold up Caracas the whole time and force your opponent to like have to like spend removal to not let you flicker stuff. And sometimes they don't always have the removal. D&T has a lot of cards that are kind of must answers. And so if you can extract some Felia value or force a removal spell on Felia so it doesn't hit something else, and it's like, it's not a huge investment. It is a 2 mana card. It's pretty cheap. And like, most importantly here, like the front loading of your flicker effect is really interesting to me. D&T as a deck, its 3s are really good to flicker, and its 2s really aren't that good. I guess it gets a little bit better now that we add White Orchid Phantom in addition to Stoneforge Mystic. You do have a little bit of extra 2s. So, but like, curving with Flicker Wisp can be really awkward at times because a lot of your 3s are really good, and then, so it's like you need to cast your 3-drop on turn 3, right? And then untap to maybe take the value up to 3, or maybe just cast a Flicker Wisp, target your thing. But Felia allows you to front load your Flicker effect on turn 2, so you can go like turn 2 Felia, and then turn 3 play your Flicker, your Skyclave, or your Recruiter or whatever, attack with the Felia, get the value immediately, stuff like that. It's interesting. I'm definitely not sold on it, but I'm interested enough to at least like give it its fair shake before I give up completely. Dog, do you mind? So I might end up like just trying more copies just to see how it feels. Like maybe like shaving down more on Flicker Wisps just so I can like play the card more, right? It's hard to get the feel of a card that like doesn't seem like a great recruiter bullet. Like, I'm not going to be recruiting a Felia a lot. Although I guess if, like, sometimes you have 2 mana open instant speed with this deck, you maybe want to, like, recruit a Felia. If you have, like, turn 3, cast Recruiter, have a Violent 2, and then you mostly probably get Stoneforge there or something. It does flicker the Recruiter. Yeah, but, like, it's hard to flicker the Recruiter with it, right? I guess it's the same as recruiting a Flicker. It's similar to recruiting a Flicker Wisp. It's just hard to piece together a lot of those spots in my head. And I think in paper, I'd almost always recruit Stoneforge, get Formalware instead in a lot of those positions. It's definitely a little situationally dependent. But I can't imagine it's a card that I'm really like, this is the card that I need to go find in this matchup a lot of the time. Versus a lot of the decks right now, you kind of need to be finding your pretty specific cards. Like against Beans, you're going to be wanting to recruiting a Disenchant a lot of the time, or Stoneforge Mystic, or Canoptic Scarab Swarm in some positions. Against Delver, Scam, you're just going to want a Solitude a lot, or like a Sideboard Containment Priest, or your Lion Sash, stuff like that. Have you looked at Guide of Souls? Is Guide of Souls the 1-drop? That card seems very unplayable unless you're, like, doing stuff with Energy or Allurin. Or, I guess, the Energy Allurin. Whereas Guide of Souls is a different card. Yeah, Guide of Souls doesn't seem like a legacy power level card unless we're doing something completely different here. It's definitely not like a Death and Taxes card. You need to play 3 creatures, have it continue to live, and then you attack and then try to make something slightly bigger and flying. That's not really something that I'm in the market for. But anyway. 1 mana Luminarch Aspirant, true. Let's put in more Alpine Watchdogs, huh? Let's just play like 4 Felia just so I can see how it feels some more. Also, if Felia is good, then we get to play a Ganjo Castle, which is really funny. And that's really the ideal, is making everyone buy a foil at Ganjo Castle at the end of all this. Because we'll have 4 Alpine Watchdog, 4 Felias, 4 Thalias, and Yorion. Do not make me replace my foil. I as someone who's never owned a foil or Gondro, it would be really funny. Certain logic doing just one Ophelia. I mean, again, I mostly just want to play this card because I want to see it more, to like see how it feels in specific instances. Obviously, 4 is almost certainly not the correct number in this deck. If it being legendary, it's more likely to come up with these awkward like dyssynergies. But we are also like a 4 Thalia deck, or a Solitude deck, stuff like that. But I'm just interested in seeing the new cards more, right? We're going to be playing 4 Knight of the White Orchid, potentially 4 Felias, just to, like, see how the deck feels, how these cards, like, apply in various scenarios. Which costs more, Foil at Ganjo Castle or MH3 pre-release? It's gotta be Foil at Ganjo Castle, right? Foil at Ganjo Castle. Foils that haven't been reprinted from, like, Kamigawa gotta be, like, $100 or something. We're gonna figure out. These are all my tabs that I need for looking at MH3 cards. Ganjo Castle. This shows me foil prices, right? Yeah, $80. It is, yeah, it's a very similar. MH3 pre-release like $75 or something, right? Oh, it has technically been reprinted, but like the list isn't real. Only 45 euros, what a steal. I think I would try it like this. I kind of want to cut a Thalia. I don't want to cut, like, I think it's going to be very wrong to cut down to so little Spirit of Labyrinths in, like, the very initial MH3 meta, just because I'm really, really scared of Necrodominance. But I think it's worthwhile to probably end up cutting a 2. The answer is probably, like, again, not play 4 Felia, but we want to play 4 Felia for the sake of trying things. So we will probably start with something like this. Necrodominance is a really interesting card. I'm scared of it because I feel like its only 2 modes are completely broken in half and unplayable dog shit in terms of its legacy relevance. I can't really envision a world where it's just like, oh, this is just like an okay meta option, tier 2 deck, you know, it's hanging out, it's like in some decks, yeah. I think it's fairly likely that it's probably broken in half and is going to get banned in like 2 months into Legacy or whatever, but I don't know. That's for the Storm Sickos to find out. They can solve that themselves, not my problem. I'll just cry about it a lot when it happens. And I will hope to God that they are all wrong and the card is not very good. Speaking of, let's add like 400 Mindbreak Traps to this sideboard. And by 400, I think I mean like 2, maybe 3. I'm just going to be adding mostly cards that I want in these sideboards. And then kind of, because the worst part of brewing decks is building a sideboard, right? Because you're building a sideboard for a whole new format. You just have no idea what you're going to expect. So you just kind of have to just kind of close your eyes, just take some shots in the dark. Hey, dog. All right, I'm kicking you out. Come on, get out of here. No eating the paper. Get out of here. Say goodbye to chat. Shoving it into scam shells. Probably just be worse, but maybe okay as a draw 5 in return. Yeah, I think in decks that want to play with fair necrodominance, you want a way to gain life. I'm not sure what that is. It's one of the things on my list. Maybe you could play necrodominance. Well, we maybe get there. I can't wait for Deem my let dog back in. There is a excuse me. There is a channel point reward now for letting dog back in the room. Yeah. There's the new Goyf, which is kind of interesting. You played it in like a mono black scam shell with like what is it? What's the 3-mana commander Goyf? That card seems like maybe kind of cool in like a mono black stompy adjacent deck. It's a really good card with Ancient Tomb, right? Gains you life, but it's a really bad card in terms of Tarmogoyf is not good in a deck without like a bunch of interaction. Barrowgoyf. Yeah, Barrowgoyf is a card that's kind of on my list. I'll probably be putting together a mono black shell that I'm interested in. Does D&D want to play Vexing Bauble? Vexing Bauble is a card that I don't know what it's gonna look like in Legacy. I think it's overrated across all formats except for maybe Vintage. I'm not a Vintage player, so it's kind of has the Necrodominance thing there, where it's like, maybe this card is really busted. I know a lot of people are saying it's really busted, but there's like a chance that it's not, and it's just like really weird, hard card to evaluate. In Legacy, I think it's like a slightly better Chalice the Void for decks that were playing it in sideboards to put on 0, right? Like Goblins oftentimes was playing like 2 Chalices sideboard or whatever. You sided in against LED decks. You put it on 0 most of the time. Yeah, and a Saga Bullet. It will be a really good Saga Bullet, definitely. Like, lands will play a copy. Like, if you're playing a Saga D&T list, I would certainly play a copy. Stuff like that. It's a nice Saga Bullet to have at the very least. The Flute is another card that I think is... you could, like, probably put it in Moonstompy specifically whenever you want, like, a Pithing Needle. Yeah, it's nice because a card like Pithing Needle is a bit narrow. Like, there have been times in the meta where I've wanted to play a Sorcerer's Spyglass in Moonstompy as just like a Pithing Needle effect, but it's just like not quite there. But I would definitely sideboard in a Pithing Needle. I would place a Pithing Needle on the sideboard if it could also come in versus like Doomsday, right? If you just can, okay, sure, this can turn off Stoneforge Mystic or like Aether Vial or, you know, some other obnoxious activated ability. Some like Minsk and Boo, whatever. But also I get to board it in against like Doomsday and Show and Tell and just cast it for 2 mana. And delay the Show and Tell or delay the Doomsday and stuff like that. It's just definitely like a reasonable card in Ancient Tomb sideboards, I think. I think it will probably not see a lot of play outside of Ancient Tomb decks, just because it has like that nice sweet spot of Ancient Tomb mana cost. Like, I would be surprised if I'd put one in like D&T sideboard, because D&T's really, really about efficiency in its hate pieces, more than like ubiquitousness. Is that a word? Ubiquity? Anyway, we need to find a good replacement for the other card that I wanted to play. Ubiquity. Yeah, we got there. I figured it out, Chad. I'm good at English. Lion House Disruptor Fruit banned in Brawl. Probably because they just hate everything that can like prevent you from casting your commander, because that's not fun. Brawl has commanders, right? I don't know those fake formats. What the hell am I looking for? What's the Wrath called, chat? Oh, literally Wrath of the Skies. We did it. What's a card that costs white XX? Can I search by mana costs? Anyone know how Moto searching works? We need a card that costs X white. Chat, throw out some ideas for Unexpectedly Absent. Oh, that's actually a really good one. You win. Good job, Harmony. Isn't it White Sun Zenith? White. But it's not Banded Commander or Oathbreaker? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how the whims of Arena. Is White Sun Zenith's? Zenith white? Is it actually? It is X white. Wow. Is White Sun's Twilight a card, right? Didn't all the suns also get Twilights? Yeah, we could have White Sun's Twilight instead. Unexpectedly Absent is funny, though, because it's also a removal spell. Also, I guess, yes, because the card itself is unexpectedly... I guess it's more expectedly absent currently. Anyway. Wrath of the Skies is an interesting card. It is just kind of white meltdown a little bit. 2 mana, it destroys, like, Urza Saga plus all the tokens in a way that is proactive, where Battle of Bywater is reactive, which is, I think, a really, really big deal in matchups, especially involving the stupid boots. What are the boots called? White... Chest distracted me. Lava Spur boots, that one? Because against, like, the big artifact decks, you can very easily just get smashed for, like, 15 damage or whatever with a Lava Spur boots turn. If you just have to wait and cast your Battle of Bywater after they go, like, end set, make a construct, untap, make a construct, get boots, equip, attack you for a bunch. Wrath of those guys just gets to blow up the Saga, and, like, they can't make a creature in response because that'll also get blown up. And then it also has the mode of, like, you can just bring this Inverse Delver. It's not quite a Battle of Bywater, but it does just, like, 1 white destroy all Murktides and... Or not sorry. Murktides is the only card it misses. Destroy all DRCs and Delvers. Is this going to be on YouTube tonight? Yes, all my streams will go up on YouTube afterwards. I have no idea when they upload. I just kind of export them straight from Twitch to YouTube. So it'll be up sometime between tonight and tomorrow morning, certainly. I will also be posting either pictures or, like, text files or both of all the deck lists somewhere, probably. I don't know. Maybe I'll put them on Flex Slot. I'll probably tweet out pictures, maybe. We'll see. We'll see how we're feeling, chat. You can also possibly scale up to 4 to kill beans. I don't think that happens much. Yeah, probably depends on the beans list that you're playing against if you want Wrath of the Skies, right? Because you don't want to board in, like... 4 mana, blow up half your own board, and also Beanstalks. Tweet pics use alt text. Yeah, that's probably pretty smart. Alt text could also help with the the filler cards that'll all look weird. These fucking 4 Alpine Watchdog D&T. The other thing is, something I mentioned when we were first brewing this deck is that there was a little bit of tension in my mind. Wait, did I lock Lily in here when I locked Dog out? Whoops. You're free. I didn't even notice Lily was in here. Just waiting you to forget to replace cards when we start. Well, luckily we'll just be playing casually. So if I direct challenge an opponent and I draw an Alpine Watchdog, I'll be like, wait, fuck. Let me go fix the deck. What was I saying? Something that I was talking about a little bit when I first brewed this deck that I kind of want to get a temperature check, see if I'm insane or see if other D&T players kind of also feel this vibe, feel this tension, is if we're playing 4 Witch Enchanters in the mana base, are you allowed to continue to play Leyline as your primary turn 0 graveyard hate card? Because the number of times that I have, like, gotten grief/unmask into reanimate my Skyclave or my Laron, blow up your own Leyline to unlock my own graveyard, feels like it's too high. And, like, I shave down on card like Skyclave and Laron in matchups like Scam or like normal Red Black Reanimator, specifically to, like, minimize that tension. But you're not really allowed to board out your disenchants when they're part of your mana base. So I think there's, like, a decent chance that you don't want to be a Leyline deck if you're designed like this. Or maybe I'm just, like... Maybe I'm just coping, like, super hard, and that's, like, not a real thing. Just wait for grief to go away. I mean, the tension will still be there with Red Black Reanimator, but certainly less so when it's when it's a significantly lessened part of the meta. Kind of the issue in my mind there is that if you get no land on your graveyard, hate often gets taken. Unless you like Grafdigger's Caging. Yeah, I was thinking, like, you could just play, like, 2 or 3 Grafdigger's Cage in addition to, like, Containment Priest and stuff. Probably just a mixture of, like maybe 1 Fairy Macabre, like, maybe 1 Surgical, because you need... It's not really a format that you need turn 0 hate anymore, though. If your turn 0 hate isn't beating Grief specifically, it's not that important because like Reanimator and Oops aren't. Although Oops might make a comeback with all the new MDFCs. Your very hot take is that maybe you just don't need to sweat it because I feel worse about Leyline against Scam the more the deck changes. That's also fair. Is like Leyline is like some of the better turn 0 graveyard hate against Scam if we're comparing like Leyline, Macabre, Surgical, but also none of them are like super great. I lost against Scam in the quarterfinals of the 7K. They mulled to 5 and I double Leyline and then I lost. Like, it's definitely not my favorite card. Half of the important part of Leyline's uncounterable. Yeah, I would definitely play Macabre before I played Surgical in that case. What does it look like if we... What does our sideboard end up looking like here? I probably don't play 4 of these total. I think you could maybe shave 1 battle because Unexpectedly Absent is pulling some similar duty. Making the argument against Cage. Big thing for me is that Scam vs. D&T specifically is that they have to board out some of their most graveyard-reliant parts of their deck anyways because we have so much hate. It's also true. It also like depends a lot on the Scam player. Like... It's tough because Scam doesn't... it's hard for Scam to board out the Entomb package because the Entomb package is so good at going over what D&T's trying to do, and they're so bad at going under what D&T's trying to do so often, I feel. But maybe that's less true with, like, 4 Voidwalkers main deck instead of Bowmasters, because Voidwalker's much better at killing you than Bowmaster is. But I do feel like, yes, it depends a lot on the player and, like, the play style and stuff. Like, I've seen Scam players that don't board out the Entombs, that do board out the Entombs. So it definitely, like, also just kind of keeps you on your toes. It's tough. It's tough out there against the best deck in the format, huh? Maybe they should have just banned it before we had this new meta. What does this look like if we play Graph Digger's Cage and stuff? Psychic Frog will also tip the balance. I'll be happy if it sounds like the more additions that Scam gets, the more they're leaning back into the old blue-black Scam and less into like the Entomb bullshit. Although notably Psychic Frog does help like enable the Entomb bullshit a little bit because you can like discard the fatties, stuff like that. What else? What do people play in D&D sideboards? We're almost certainly not playing 4 Mind Break Traps, but like, what are we worried about? What does the meta look like right now? Moonstompy, which we just like hopefully don't care about. It's Scam and Delver. Delver, hopefully we don't care about. Scam, we can hopefully pad a little bit in the sideboard. We are allowed to play Cataclysm if we want because we're like 4 Flagstones deck. We'll play 1 Cataclysm for the fans. It is just really infinite Scam. And then obviously MH3 is going to shake up a lot, and we're not going to really know what's going to happen. Oh, yeah, we're definitely missing a 1 of Containment Priest. It's possible you're even allowed to play more, especially if Felia is actually good. Containment Priest gets a little better. Because you can, like, Felia your opponent's creatures every turn. I don't know if you discussed this, but do you have any thoughts on Null Drifter Stifle Knot Gaming? I'm not a Stifle Knot gamer, because usually those decks involve Brainstorm, but it sounds kind of hot. Although it's a little expensive, right? It's 4 mana to do, like, the trick. Null Drifter is a card that might make it into the next list that I build, I think, because I'm interested in seeing what that looks like. Also kind of uncounterable compared to Cage. I mean, you mean like Stather Vial? Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I think the one priest is like pretty good and pretty stock. You could definitely talk me into playing a second if Felia is better. If Felia plays better than expected, I could see playing more priest. I could even maybe see playing a main deck priest or something, but let's like go a little easy on the Mind Break Traps and play like a different 15th sideboard card. What are people even like? You just need like another combo card though, right? Like with you're lacking Thoughtseize, you're just so much more dead to just like nonsense combo decks. And like Storm is very real and something that we kind of do need to respect. The plan B. Oh, it is dress down into Null Drifter is kind of hot too. I can see that because that curves really well too, right? We might just have to play Deafening Silence. I feel like I would just play the 4th trap before I played a single Deafening Silence, but maybe that's not true. I feel like the Storm decks will probably be decked to the 9s to try to beat Trap specifically, so maybe that helps to diversify a little bit. Is Alpine Watchdog supposed to be a Resto Angel? Yeah, it's Felia. Resto Angel is, or the Ghost Quarter is our White Orchid Phantom. Archon of Mary. That card's like 1,000 mana, unfortunately. Yeah, all the cards you're listing mush cost like 100 mana and are thus not cards that I'm interested in putting into my deck to try to beat the combo matchups. Unfortunately. I was a huge fan of Big Thalia for like the two-month period or whatever between Eldritch Moon and Conspiracy. That was a great time. Big Thalia was like such a fucking cool card to play in D&T, and it just Recruit of the Guard and like Sanctum Prelate stuff came out, just instantly became unplayable. It was very disappointing. I own probably like 3, maybe 4 foil Thalias. Big Thalias. Rip Sanctum Prelate for real. It's crazy how bad that card is now compared to when it first got printed. I literally would tell people, you could have told me to design a D&T card and I would have come up with something less powerful than this. Like, it was so good for the time period and just wildly power crept out of the format. Just like the diversification of mana values in decks. Things that get to like cheat on mana and cost 1 mana but not. Kind of just get around it. Leyline Bindings, Prismatic Endings, Brazen Borrowers, which I guess some of these cards don't cheat on mana, but you know what I mean. Prelate was so sick. Like, Prelate single-handedly warped lands decks because they were so fucking cold to it. That's like the reason they started playing Barbarian Ring and stuff. Man, that was a fucking sick time. You just put it on 2, they couldn't cast Loam or P-Fire. Oh, man. Those were the days. I miss Sanctum Prelate. That card was so fucking cool. It was like if you had Mom and Prelate on 6 versus Miracles or whatever, you just get to kick the shit out of them. You got to Violin Prelate in response to a Terminus Miracle trigger. Oh, it's such a cool card. Yeah, unfortunately, has definitely been power crept out of the format a little bit. All right. So this list looks like okay. Obviously, sideboards are just going to be hell. I'm just going to complain about that a lot today when we're trying to build decks. It's just going to be impossible to really build a sideboard that makes any sense, right? Because we're just building for a meta that doesn't exist. We're building for decks that we don't know if they're even real. So we're just kind of just flying blind here. But like something like this, I feel fairly happy with this main deck. We will be testing out Felia specifically. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I have to say about this deck. This is a deck I'm definitely most interested in playing because I think there's a chance you could bring Mono White back in some capacity with White Orchid Phantom specifically. I'm interested to see how this stuff plays out. There is also a world where we try to do this. I'm allowed to put exclamation marks, but not question marks in deck names? Huh. I think I brewed this on the other account, which means we're just gonna have to like rebrew it here. But I wanted to see what 60-card D&T would look like if we were to play it, and I think what I came up with is that you basically just have to be a Chromox deck. I think if you're 60-card D&T, you basically have to fill a completely different niche in the format, and that niche is you are a much faster Hate Bear deck, like that's really hardened on mana denial, and that's about it. So we cut a bunch of this shit. The conclusions that I came to is that Formaware stands seething right now, by the way. Yes. Formaware would make this deck a lot better, in fairness. Chromux sucks. I don't think that's actually true. Chromux, I think, gets a lot better with the addition of, like, 8 new MDFCs in every color. I'm definitely going to be, like, a lot of Chromux decks are probably going to be tested today. Did anyone ask about Vault 75 Middle School when Fallout was spoiled? I'm surprised I hadn't seen this card before. You've made this card up. This card is not real. You can't convince me this card exists. It's not. Yeah, I mean, none of the cards are MTG. I'm not surprised. Are we gonna look this up? You're gonna spill the beans on what this card does, Katie? What is this card called? Vault 75. Is that just like a real card name? Vault 75 Middle School. Wow, this card fucking sucks. This card is just awful. Hello. Nothing about this card is interesting or good. Why do you have a knife? Why do you have a knife?
I'm gonna cut toast's thingy.
You're gonna cut toast?
No. Is he in there?
No, I don't think he's in chat.
I'm not gonna cut toast.
It's Battle of Bywater with more upside. Yes, famously, all of the white cards that destroyed power 4 or greater were very playable in D&D previously, and it's definitely not the threshold of 4 to 3 that made Battle of Bywater good. Notably, it's a Battle of Bywater that you can then play Flicker Wisp, flicker the battle, and then it comes back and then doesn't kill your Flicker Wisp. That's just good deck building. What are we doing here? We're building a 60-card D&T again. And by building, I mean... God, I don't remember what I wanted 60-card D&T to look like. You're probably... I was playing 1 Flagstones because you're not really allowed to be a multiple Flagstones deck in your Leonin Arbiter deck, but you can play 1... You can free roll the 1 to just sometimes go with your White Orchid Phantom. I was playing, like, nothing here. And you cut down, like, a bunch of lands. You play like 24 mana sources, I think. 24 maybe even sounds a little bit high if you're curving out at 2. Did these cut? Hello? Oh, Modus is crashing. That's fine. Really? Would we go to only 4 planes? I guess you also have 4 Chromux, so you have like a bunch of ability to find white sources through Blood Moons or whatever. Moto, are you okay? I just tried to cut like eight cards. It's not a huge deal. Moto, you can get through this, I promise. I didn't like lose connection, right? We're still, yeah, everything's fine. It's just a Moto problem. Whatever. Moto, you'll be fine. Are there any fun names for 60-card D&T, like Short Stack or something? No, I mostly just, like, laugh at it. Joke D&T. The Moto account hates 60-card D&T so much that it is attempting to crash instead of letting me finish this deck. D&T for players with small hands. How long do I give it before I just actually kill it and try to bring it back?
Did we not have a thing that, like, to check if things are level? What's that called in English?
A leveler?
We had one, right?
Yeah, it's in the closet. It's in a little cardboard box in the closet. I think.
It's in a cardboard box. I was looking for it out of that. Okay.
You can do it, MTGO. I don't think MTGO can do it. I'm gonna give up. right? D&T, come on, you can do it. I believe in you. We got there. Why does every time I boot up Moto, it moves it like 2 to 3 inches to the right of on my screen? It's the most annoying thing ever. Before I go, you talked about Necrodominance briefly. Just explicitly think it's good at the level of Underworld Breach Zerda, or is it like White Plume good? I mean, all those cards got banned, so I mean, I guess Breach and Zerda and Blurus were a little bit more, definitely a higher power level than White Plume Adventurer, but I don't know, because I am not a player who would be in the good headspace to make broken Necrodominance decks, and I am historically have been very wrong about cards that are out of my realm of expertise. Notable things that I have missed on: Arkham's Astrolabe, Up the Beanstalk, Underworld Breach. Cards that I was not missing on are Zerda and White Bloom Adventurer, cards much more in my wheelhouse of being broken. So I will not claim to be an expert on if I think Necrodominance will be good. I am very scared of it. I know a lot of combo players are very interested in trying to break it, and that makes me concerned. And the card feels like it is designed in a way that it will only be completely unplayable in the format, or the next, it will literally be like Necropotence get banned. I don't think there's a lot of room in the middle for like a reasonable Necrodominance deck to exist. And that concerns me. Hey, oh no, it didn't manage to cut the cards. Alright, let's try this again. Alright, worked instantly. Wait, I cut way too many lands. Something like that. I think you're not allowed to play this many Ghost Quarters, right? This is just like not something you're allowed to do. That's why I had this Frank Karsten article open. To cast a 2 CC card 90% of the time, you want 21 mana sources. Missing MDFC's land column. Oh, I am. All right, yeah, I was supposed to cut that many planes. You right. Something like that. That looks better. So this is what, 16 plus Aether Vial being like half a mana source, like 18 mana sources, which is mathematically pretty bad. I think maybe you're allowed to play like 3 Ghost Quarters, maybe 2 Ghost Quarters. Something like that in mono white. And then we still have to cut actual cards, obviously. We're at 69 card main deck. Nice. White Orchid Phantom and Legacy. I'm definitely interested in trying Legacy. Like all of these decks, the first 2 decks that we've been brewing are White Orchid Phantom D&T. What is this? What? Maybe you're just like not allowed to be a. So the issue with, I guess, we still have all these Felias in the deck, right? We ported over from the 80 card version. The issue with this is that Felia is a lot worse when you cut all the 3 drops, right? Like we were just talking about, all the 3s are really good flickers and all the 2s are really bad flickers, and like Ephemerate Knight of the White Orchid or like Felia Knight of the White Orchid are really good, but there are a lot of fail cases, I think, in this deck, especially if we're probably not a 4 Solitude deck in 60. It's like maybe you're just not supposed to be a Ephemerate Solitude deck. Maybe you just go much harder on the just like Hate Bear strategy, and you sideboard like a bunch of. I guess you can't really sideboard Cataclysm though. You could maybe play 2 Flagstones. Canary Priest plus Dog is a combo, yes. I mean, so is like Canary Priest plus Flicker Wisp though. But yeah, as much as I want Felia to be good, like across like different D&T decks, Felia is much less interesting in a deck without 3s to curve Felia into. So like maybe Felia just isn't good in a shell like this. It's like, what are we blinking? It's exactly Stoneforge or White Orchid Phantom. Like maybe you're just not a Felia Ephemerate deck. Maybe we just play like a couple of Ephemerates and a couple of Solitudes and not any Felia. Well, you can't Felia Solitude, right? Did I say blinking specifically, or was it like... I was thinking of specifically interactions with Felia, not necessarily Ephemerate, because Ephemerate can also protect your creatures from removal, stuff like that, work better with Solitude, etc. You cannot Felia your Solitude unless you pay 5 mana for it. Yeah. So, like, maybe we just cut this. This is, like, 8 cuts, and, like, this looks more... We add, like, the spirit back in. I'm also pretty low on Felia. I just am interested enough to try it. I'm just gonna repeat myself a lot today, obviously. When people are jumping in and out, and like we'll always want to see my opinion on new cards, even if I've said it like 3 or 4 times. So, it's fine. I will be happy to repeat myself. But yeah, I'm not super keen on Felia being a D&T game changer or ending up in most of my lists. But I will not be surprised if they just, like, don't show up at all. So I think this looks more reasonable for 60. And we'll see how, like, maybe Ephemerate is just, like, really clunky and bad and you're not really allowed to play it. Man, this deck would really kill for a Formula, though. It just really sucks, Formula is non-moto. But in exchange for like having a better combo matchup, right? We're 60 card, we can draw our Hate Bears better. We have Chromox to play Terminal Hate Bears. Your fair matchups are like way more in the toilet, so you need some sort of grindy sideboard element here. And I think I was messing around with like Assemble the Players, but that card's probably unplayable, right? How many cards are we even casting off Assemble the Players if I put it in my deck? Almost half the deck. That's like not bad. Yeah, Ephemerate with White Orchid Phantom is really fucked up if you can do it. Honestly. Like, just, like, Stone Rain them 3 times, right? The issue is that, like, the way that this deck is built, it has a ton of blanks against, like, decks that aren't specifically, like, a blue deck with a bunch of fetch lands, right? It's like, oh, we're playing against Moonstompy. Well, we have all of these cards that don't really have text. We could maybe play some Recruiter's sideboard. Again, that plan looks a little bit better if we have access to pre-war Formalware, where we could like recruit Stoneforge for a Formalware back a White Orchid, or like a dead Recruiter afterwards. Stuff like that. You could maybe play more Cataclysms versus like the Beanstalk decks. Maybe put the second Flagstones in the mana base. Good times. I do remember the like 2 main deck Recruiters and then sideboard 3rd Recruiter back in the 60 card days. Those were the days where you got to board in the 3rd Recruiter versus control and combo, and you're like, all right, well, recruit a Thali after Ant Thought Seizes me twice, or recruit a Recruiter to get a Recruiter to play around Terminus versus Miracles, and keep suiting up each one with a Sword of Fire and Ice so they keep having to cast Plows on them. Those were the days. Me a gift?
I mean, this one is a freebie.
Oh, that is true. Yeah, this is.
I guess feel it. Would you show off the camera?
It's hard to say. Can I? I should also make some proxies. Just got a pre-war Formalware here. Topical. There is a Formalware count that I think it's mod only command, because otherwise people will just like spam it all the time. I'm trying to figure out if you can actually feel the difference between a real card and a fake in like the proxied card. I feel like you can't. But I mean, I'm not an expert in these things, but they seem pretty close to me.
I mean, if you can't tell the difference, I hope whatever is close that.
But like the big thing would be you put it in a deck, right? You shuffle up a whole deck with like a couple of proxies in them and see if you can pick them out. But I mean, yeah, that's.
Is Toast in chat?
Toast is not in chat.
Aw, man.
It's good. He's not in chat because we'd fucking ban him if he was.
How dare you?
Is it actually a problem if the... Yeah, I think it does lose a little bit of its appeal if it's just like 4 people spam Formalware moment and like the numbers like totally out of whack. Does he still have dice? Yeah, he plays Legacy on Tuesdays. I'm kind of tired of looking at the 60 card D&T list. So let's just move on for now. We can revisit the idea. Close them either later tonight. I want other ideas to get out of my brain before I wait, how did we get to 62 here? Did I like miscount when I was cutting cards? I guess I did. Sea Stompy with Dreamtide Whale. I'm probably gonna build a mono blue deck. I probably won't have a Dreamtide Whale. Can you get her to stop eating the curtains?
Hey, stop eating the curtains. That worked.
What the fuck are we talking about, Katie? You found another saga for scam? Oh, you're looking at sagas. Sure. All right. Let's make a fresh, cool new deck, and this is a deck that I am interested in. I think this deck is going to be very bad, but it's a shell that I want to try because I think it, like, the card itself has a lot of potential. MH3. I think this is just going to be called Affinity, for lack of a better term. Alright, chat. I need 2 and a blue permanent enchantments, maybe? We're trying to get our Devoid cards in their color. They are. Kozilek's Unsealing? Yes. This is a card that I want to see if it's actually playable or not. This card has a lot of scary text on it. And notably, it's not an Up the Beanstalk or whatever because it does not have an ETB. So, like, maybe the scary text is fine and the build around is, like, too much of an ask, but I'm interested in trying this. Chat, get your submissions in for what the replacement for Kozilek's Unsealing is going to be. But we're just going to I just want to build full Affinity as much as the deck can reasonably support, which truly I have no idea what that number is. Retreat to Coral Helm, huh? Not bad, not bad. What's this stupid lizard's name? The strictly better Mirror Enforcer? Sojourner's Companion? How the fuck do you spell Sojourner? Did I do it? What is a Sojourner? Is it just Venser? That's his title, right? Is that like a real word? Eldrazi Sky Spawner is the one you're thinking of, Frankensteiner. A Sojourner is a traveler, I think. We're just brewing right now, Dark Saga. We will be playing games on Friday. We'll be playing games of MH3 Legacy on Moto. This is purely a brewing stream in preparation for that.
Oh, so you're not playing Magic tonight?
No, yeah, we're just talking about playing Magic.
So even worse.
I guess the best thing to proxy the new Mirror Enforcer is just another Mirror Enforcer, huh? We'll put the ugly Mirror Enforcers in. Chat, how do you feel about Mirror Enforcer arts? What are we feeling? It's got to be the Round Boy, right? This is just such a better art than whatever's going on here. I need your lore expertise. This guy?
Mm-hmm.
This guy. This guy?
This one.
You like that one?
I like the colors better.
Round Boy. Everyone in chat's saying Round Boy. You're wrong.
Tell everyone in chat.
Here's the one you would like the most, actually.
I mean, yes. Oh, are these the same cards?
No, they're almost the same card, though. They're functionally identical.
Then I would obviously choose that one. You gave me only 2 options.
But yes, these are both just the Mirror Enforcers. 16, 7 drops up with Affinity. I mean, we only get 12, I think. Oh, no, yeah, we get Thought Monitor, too. Yes, that's the whole plan. Mana Breach? What the fuck is Mana Breach, chat? Mana Breach. Whenever a player casts a spell, that player returns a land they control their owner's hand. This is for Modern Legacy. This is for Legacy. We're brewing with Kozilek's Undoing, or Unsealing? That's the one. And then specifically, we will also get Simulacrum Synthesizer. Fuck, why is it Mana Maze 2 in a blue? Oh god, that would be hilarious. Either case, we're playing 4, the 3-drop, draw 3. Yeah, that's the idea, Chylith, is that we're playing... We could just put 8 Simulacrum Synthesizers in this deck. Like, that's kind of the... That is the thesis of this deck, is that... Is there enough ways to support casting your stupid 7-drop affinity cards, plus enough engines when you get Simulacrum Synthesizer, plus, the thing we were just fucking talking about, a Kozilek's Unsealing? Are you allowed to try to play this deck? Yeah, 8 Synthesizer, 12 Mirror, essentially. We'll play, like... We can just play, like... Why does Moto do that? Why does it just cut between them like that? It did that for the Mirror Enforcers, too. Whatever. But yeah, we get Kozilek's Unsealing, and then we get Frog Mirror Enforcer, which is just a split card Frogmite Mirror Enforcer. The Frogmite mode is 3 in a red, so it's not truly Frogmite, but basically... This is kind of the idea, is that you just play... You have these 8 2 in a blue engine pieces, and you just play a shit pile of affinity cards, and you just try to enable this. I have no idea how many lands this deck should play. I have no idea how many, like, zeros you're supposed to play to support these. What zeros they should be. Is the new Tolarian Academy playable? Probably not. I don't think that card is an appropriate power level for any... It's a very tall order for very minimal... payoff. Are there any blue other... So, bad news for you, Mush. None of these cards are pitchable to Chrome Mox because Synthesizer and Thought Monitor are artifacts, and Kozilek's Unsealing is devoid. So you can't pitch any of them to Chrome Mox. As much as I really wish you could pitch some stuff to Chrome Mox, because I would love to play Chrome Mox in this deck, we are just not allowed to. Yeah, the new Tolarian Academy is they're talking about the Archway, the cycle that comes at untap. If you have an island, you can pay a blue and tap it. Your next spell gets Affinity, Artifact Convoke, whatever that's called. Improvise? Whatever. We're playing Ugin's Labyrinth. That's a card I was thinking about. I'm not sure what the number of cards you need to support Ugin's Labyrinth is. We could maybe even play less than 4, right? We could just play like 2 copies or something as just an extra Ancient Tomb. Yes, we're getting to that static. Don't worry. We're going to put 4 Lotus Petal and 4 Mox Opal in my deck. We're going to put the good zeros in first. But after that, it gets a little dicey what we want. Is this a Chalice of the Void deck? Is this like a 1-drops? Are we like pairing 0-drops with like Springleaf Drums to try to accelerate things out faster? I don't know. Do we play full form Opal? Almost assuredly, yes. This deck just wants a bunch of zeros and mana. So Mox Opal's kind of the perfect card. Obviously, it's not great when you draw multiples, but I think especially if you're popping off with a Kozilek's Unsealing turn, then you just want to be able to draw into mana too, so you can cast like your Thought Monitors for 1 mana and stuff. Yes, we definitely play Urza's Saga. That's just like another way you just get to win the game, right? Are we Blastoising? Maybe. That's a card that could be debatable, because Blastoise doesn't trigger the good part of Kozilek's Unsealing, it just gives you 2 Eldrazi spawns. So it's like not that great with half of your payoffs. What does the deck look like if... so I have Ugin, it's just going to be Ugin's Labyrinth, right? I think you're probably right, Ekleth. Blastoise in our 7-drop tribal deck is probably just too much. Like, too much top end. This deck is already in danger of being, like, too clunky and impossible to, like, realistically cast your spells. Seat of the Synod. What's up, Toast? We were just talking about you. Are we on the blue-red artifact duel? That's another question that I wasn't sure what the answer was. Foundry Assembler? I don't know what that card does. Let's find out, huh? Foundry assembler. Is this the... This is not the... Oh. No, this card's bad, right? If I wanted this, I would play the... Isn't there like a... Wait. No, this card isn't good, right? Because all your artifacts tap for mana, almost. Like, seat. I guess not all of them, but some of them. This card is, like, not reasonable to cast. And also, again, the payoff is only with half of your cards. We can play, like, the Convoke guy, too. The Convoke Frog. Frog Tribal. I think we definitely shouldn't ignore the Frogmite half of Frogmere Enforcer, because I think part of the thing that lets you play less clunky here with 12 7-drops, if you're not like firing on all cylinders, is the fact that you can cast some of them as Frogmites instead. Yeah, we're trying to build the Synth Kozilek's Undoing deck. But D-Batter Skull. Yeah, I think the question is, would we play the number of the blue-red artifact land, or are we allowed to just play, like, Great Furnace? Probably not. But, because I think we're, like, really low on blue already. We definitely need more blue sources. Aether Spell Bomb. Let's get the Saga Bullets in here while we're... I don't think you need more payoffs. I don't think you need to be a Bombardier deck. Cowrad, nice steamer toast. Everyone make fun of Toast for mistyping coward in chat, please. Everyone type Cowrad in chat. Thank you for indulging me, chat. Very much appreciated. See, now he wants to get banned. Now we can't ban him. We just get to roast him in chat instead. You could also be like you could play like just a ton of Tormod's Crypts in the sideboard potentially as like zeros that work well with the deck, and then also like you get to board them against like scam and stuff. I'm just wondering if you wanted the main deck Soul Guide Lantern. Wow, this is already at 56 cards, or it's 16 lands. Jesus Christ. Could play Zurin Orb for burn. Not quite what we're looking for, I don't think. Yeah, the issue is that this deck definitely doesn't seem like it has enough, or enabling enough right now. Hey, I didn't ban you. That was all static. This is also the stupid new enchantment. Yeah, we're just playing 8 Simulacrum Synthesizers because the new cards aren't on Moto right now. So just kind of a representation of our 8 payoff cards. That's why we also have 8 Mirror Enforcers in our list. Instead of, because we don't have Frog Mirror Enforcer. 12 7-drops and 16 cards that cost less than 3. Yeah, exactly. This deck is definitely not exact. We're putting pen to paper here. Is that what we're supposed to make this a Yorion deck? Probably not. You really just, like, you don't really care about the Yorion. You really want your, like, busted payoff cards. This deck is ideally just, I don't know, can we get Chalice of the Void deck too? I think we, with 2 sets of Soul Lands and like Mox Opal, Seat, Petal starts, you probably can be a Chalice. Why did I think typing in Chalice was going to work? Need to test Vexing Bauble, probably not the greatest in the deck that's trying to cast a bunch of cards for 0 mana, right? Like, of all the Vexing Bauble decks that we could theoretically build, this cannot be a good one. So yeah, even like at this, we already need to cut cards. This is also theoretically we could just like this deck is proactive enough that there's a chance you could sideboard or not play some of these like more niche bullets. I also agree. Yeah, there's a possibility you don't need 4 labyrinths, and we definitely want at least 1 basic, and like probably bridge. Probably not great. You probably just want bridge over Great Furnace. You just like really want your blue mana. Don't really love actual Frogmite. So the big thing about Frogmite is that it curves so well into your 7s with Kozilek's Unsealing, right? Like if you have 4 affinity, you cast your Frogmite for free. You go up to 5 affinity. Trigger, you make 2 Scions. That gets you 6/7, so you can cast a 7 for free and draw 3 cards immediately with Kozilek's Unsealing. Yeah, I agree. We're getting there. Static. What's a good island though, chat? How do I search by basic? It's in type, right? Chat, give me a good island. But I also can't search, so we just have to like scroll and find one blindly. Cup Island? I'm not a huge Cup Island. Wow. I was going to say everyone likes Cup, but it's literally just Katie and Akalith. Unglued Venice? Is there a Venice Island? Throne of Eldraine Well Island. Alright, let's roll to the bottom. Bottom's where the cool promo islands are, right? Everyone likes Cup, really? This is a classic. This is a control player island, though. The fucking Mark Pool Islands. This is not a island for filthy affinity players. There's Venice right there. Oh, fuck. Chat, you're gonna need to help me figure out where Venice is. Support all APAC and Euroland. Scroll down. Literally. Down a row? Fuck. Wait, are these APAC? I know Venice isn't like god fucking damn it static.
Oh, did somebody make that joke?
Yeah.
I almost said it and I was like, no. Too cheap.
This one's Venice? Yeah, I guess that is Venice, huh? Alright, we'll put in our one Venice island. What's up, Jared? How's it going? What's this island, though? This island looks kind of sick. What's happening here? Someone in chat already said the bridge name. What's the name of the bridge we're looking for? Blue-red bridge. I'll type in bridge and see if I can get there. Silver Bluff? Alright, I typed in bridge. We did not get there, chat. Oh, wait, maybe we got there. There aren't actually a lot of cards with bridge in the name, huh? Oh, yeah, it's right there. Yeah, we got a Frogmere Enforcer. Two bridges? I feel like we just don't have enough lands in this deck right now, right? And also, like, we kind of want more zeros. Jesus Christ. How do you fit all these cards in the deck, huh? What are we doing, Katie? You make a poll? You make a poll? Yeah, no, there's a yes, but only despite XJ category. Everyone's gonna vote for that one. I'm gonna vote for that one right now. Oh, whoops, I opened it here. Open it off. 6 votes, it's tied 2-2-2.
Hey.
And these option no, but only despite Katie. True. That would be a good option. I definitely voted for Yes, but only despite XJ. But yeah, I think the issue is that, like, this is just, like, this looks way too clunky, right? We have so much top end and, like, no way to enable it. You just want, like, maybe you can just cut, like, maybe you're allowed to play, like, 10 Mirror Enforcers and play, like, some actual zeros. And, like, not 4 Ugin's Labyrinth and play some, like, other real lands that tap for colors. Like, how, like, our ability to cast our... Okay, that's not bad. 14 to try to cast these. Plus, like, Saga is, like, kind of a half mana source. Petal's also stinky. Petal's, like, really good, isn't it? You want to, like, cast this thing on turn 2 off of, like, or, like, Ancient Tomb, Simulacrum Synthesizer, and start going off with, like, Frogmites and shit? My 7 drops deck is clunky. No, look, chat. This is a deck brewing stream. You gotta put all the cards onto paper and then be like, this doesn't look right. How do we fix this? For Eye of Eugene is wild. Well, Toast, you see, sometimes do you think anything else about this deck is wild? Maybe perhaps the 8 Simulacrum Synthesizers or 8 Mirror Enforcers in our deck? Something off about that to you, perhaps? Like, what 0 drops can you try to play to enable Affinity? Is it just, like... Well, yeah, we have to play the wrong one, because we have to have some way to distinguish that they're different. That they're a different card. You knew the Enforcers, you just forgot about the Soul Land, yes. Ugin's Labyrinth, is that it? Are there any other, like, actually good artifacts that cost 0 mana, or is it just, like... Tormod Script. Yeah, you could play like Baubles, or you could play like fucking actual Affinity plus. You could like potentially build this deck in a way that goes hard in putting permanent artifacts into play to try to ramp mana better, right? You could play like stupid Springleaf Drum plus 0 drop creatures. Maybe even the blue artifact thing, the thing that's kind of like Springleaf Drum, but not Moon something. I don't know. The card from Kamigawa, the Neo Kamigawa. Whatever the fuck that card's called. Moon Snare Prototype. Hey, yeah, there we go. You could do something like that, but I think one of the issues is that, like, if you're not a Chalice of the Void deck, I think you're just kind of hosed. Like, I don't think you're allowed to just be a proactive aggro deck with no points of interaction in Legacy like this, right? Like, you kind of need to be either a, like, 4 Force of Will, or, like, in this case, you could potentially be a, what's the improvise counterspell that I never played around in my life? You have to be, like, playing that card, or you gotta be playing Chalice of it, I think. I don't think you're really allowed to just try to be a engine deck with no way to interact in game 1s. Metallic Rebuke, yeah. And you're not really allowed to be a Force of Will deck when 4 of your blue cards are devoid, right? We currently, like, as built, we would be, like, 12 blue cards if you put 4 forces in here. We could potentially buff that. You could play, like, Emery and stuff, but then it really starts to dilute a lot of the power of the deck. Is Labyrinth better than City Traders? I don't know. Probably worth trying, though, in our deck that has, like, 12 ways to enable it. City Traders is, like, really bad to play stuff on turn 1, especially without, like, Blood Moon in your deck. I think decks that play City Traders that aren't Moonstompy are, like... Are we a Lodestone Golem deck? I didn't think about that. That was a card that was on my list. I didn't think about that. The other thing is, are you allowed to be, like, a Grim Monolith deck? Is that an insane card to be our ramp piece? Yeah, I don't think I'm concerned with, like, more payoffs. We talked about Capicania earlier. Just, like, it's a 6-drop, so it doesn't work with half your payoffs very well. Like, Capicania make 2 guys isn't super interesting. Coslight card makes Scions to make mana. Yeah, but like that's not. It only makes Scions with Frogmite specifically, or your other Frogmite, right? Like, generally we're gonna be trying to you want to try to get to the point where you're just popping off and drawing a bunch, like drawing 6 cards in a turn or whatever, right? That's the idea. The other takeaway from this deck is that like you're just really, really, really bad for Bowmaster with like half your payoffs, and maybe that's dangerous, but Bowmaster is also really bad against you if you're just going like Simulacrum Synthesizer into 7 drops, right? So like maybe it's not all bad. Could we be like a Lodestone Golem Grim Monolith deck though? Like, this deck does want bursts of mana, and it's just an artifact that stays around. We could potentially try to be Lodestone Golem as our, like, anti-combo. We could, like, potentially get rid of Chalice of the Void. This isn't super helping the... I guess it does help the early turns a little bit, though. Clearly need Mana Vault, yeah, if only. I think I'll address Bowmasters in the sideboard, if anything. We definitely have some options. Grim Monolith makes, like, having 8 Ancient Tomb effects better, too, right? If you can go, like, Ugin's Labyrinth into Grim Monolith. Turn 2 blue source, you have 6 mana. You can go Simulacrum Synthesizer. You have exactly 1 artifact in play. You could still go, like, Simulacrum Synthesizer or the other thing into a Frogmite, potentially. You can go, like... Grim Monolith, Petal, Lodestone. Let dog in. Pay up. Pay up, Toast. Pay up if you want dog in here.
Hey.
The door open?
The door's open.
Oh, well, I'll go close it. Are you not playing any Karns? No, this deck is, like, very focused on casting 4-drops that are artifact creatures. What's she scratching at then? She's not scratching anything. Are you hearing Aishnaz cutting your proxies in the background, Toast?
I'm sandpapering the edges. Is this the sound?
Hey, David E. Piz, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it.
Show this to Toast since this is not a spoiler for us.
And Klein Apple, thanks for the follow as well.
It's an old one. Did it as a treat.
Here's the proxies, Toast. You get to see one of them, even though this is not a card for your vintage deck.
Yeah, that was just for fun.
Yeah, we're just testing them. They look pretty good. Ooh, a little warped, just like a normal Magic card.
Can we try your de-warping thing in the Tupperware for these? Do you think it'll help?
I don't know. You try it. I think Mana Crypt would be really good in this deck. Good suggestion. We should add some Mana Crypt. How do you feel about Soul Ring? Do you think Soul Ring would improve this deck's card quality? Maybe Mishra's Workshop, perhaps? Soul Ring gets countered by Chalice. I'm close to like trying to cut these chalices. Workshop doesn't cast Unsealing Garbage. This doesn't look that bad to me, honestly. Weird. You definitely want more bottom end. Especially if we're not a Chalice deck, you could play like some ones. Also, we're already at 64 cards still, and we're only at like 18 lands, which is a little bit less than I would like to play. Also, again, we could shave some. I think you probably want to shave some Labyrinths for some blue sources. What if there was a blue Spirit Guide that was an artifact that went to your battlefield instead of it? What? Mush, are you okay? Ballista and Stone Skull Serpent. I don't think those cards are like kind of terrible. I guess for a Grim Monolith, like you could play like one key too, yeah. issue with the like Ballista and Stone Cold is that they just kind of suck, right? You don't want to be casting them. As someone who played a lot of Bomberman, Ballista wouldn't be that terrible because you could like if you had some way to like main deck some power, some juice against Bowmaster, that would be nice. But just like if you're going to like play like those weird cheap cards that can be cast slightly bigger later, I feel like you'd want to just be trying to do I keep forgetting the name, Springleaf Drum stuff, like drums and ornithopters and shit like that. Yeah, you're probably if we're playing 4 Grim Monoliths. Mana fold key. I trust you unconditional. Oh, well, why did I mana fold? It's manifold. I'm stupid. Yeah, I don't recommend trusting me unconditionally, especially during a stream like this. We are really firing off the cuff. We're just cooking with anything we got. Manifold or minifold. You probably just like end up playing the One Ring in this deck. It doesn't trigger your Kozilek's Unsealing, but it's also like kind of busted. But yeah, I do like the Manifold key makes sense if you're playing Grim Monolith, and then it also just synergizes with like massive constructs. I definitely buy that. That makes a lot of sense. It triggers Unsealing. Is it Unsealing creatures? Yeah, Unsealing creatures. We don't get to trigger with One Ring. Yeah. That is the tension, that all of your cards want to be artifact creatures specifically to go with. There aren't any other like stupid affinity cards that we're missing, right? Can we just like search cards that have affinity and are colorless? Like this? That's it? That's all you need to do? We could go deep and fucking play like Tooth of Chiscoria, right? No, this only triggers half of them though, because again, not artifact creature. We could play the Golems. Affinity for islands, yeah. Well, we got all the good ones. We're good. We did. This was a couple blue affinity cards. We'll take a look. A quick peek. Mycosynth Golem. Oh god, what the fuck's going on here, chat? There's Metamorph. Yeah, it doesn't have to be colorless. Metamorph could work, because Metamorph doesn't work as well with Kozilek's Unsealing, right? Because you cast it as a 4-drop, which does notably trigger, you get Eldrazi spawns, not bad. And then it ETBs, and if you copy an artifact with CMC 3 or greater, like a Simulacrum Synthesizer that's already in play or something, you could potentially trigger that and get an artifact, get a construct that way. Well, these cards fucking suck, huh? What about Broodstar? What about Broodstar? What about Broodstar, Mush? I don't think we're short on cards to cast with an abundance of mana. I think we're good. The art is sick. That's fair, yeah. Broodstar artwork is a banger. A very old meme. Yes, I figured as much, Jarvis. I would be surprised if anyone in chat got it. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, yeah. Danny knows it. That makes sense. Quicksilver Behemoth can re-trigger Synthesizer. Stop making me go back to this list and figure out what cards do. It doesn't even trigger Synthesizer, right? Because this doesn't trigger either of them. Oh no, it triggers Unsealing. Unsealing's any creature spell, but it doesn't trigger Synthesizer because it's not an artifact. Any cool cards with Improvise? We can check that too. But I think we found the only possibly playable one, right? Which was that really bad 5-drop. We could play the 7-drop one, huh? Do we want to go 16 Mirror Enforcers? No. The answer is no. I feel like this deck is definitely missing something to enable. Like, what are the... Someone asked, like, earlier what the synthesizer decks we're playing right now, and then I was like, oh, that's a good idea, let's look at that, and then just immediately didn't do that thing. Is this deck, like, really that dead? Hello? The synthesizer deck is, like, super hard fall off. Blue artifacts. Synthesizer? No, this is just regular ass. Where's the fucking synthesizer decks, MTG Goldfish? Do they just get lumped into blue artifacts and I just like click through those decks, I guess? Gonna go to bed, I'll console with you later. Yeah, I'll catch you later, Jarvis. I'll probably post some of these decks that I'm not embarrassed to show. Is it under Patchwork Stompy? I've seen Patchwork Stompy, but suddenly all these decks are just called, like, is it artifacts? Was there Patchwork Stompy out here? Did I miss it? Patch. I did miss it. Okay, I'll try that one. This is definitely not it. This is also just 8 cast. 8 cast. 8 cast. Let's go back a little bit more in time. Yeah, was this card ever actually playable, chat? Can we figure out if anyone has actually registered synthesizer ever in their life? Oh, we found one. Well, this deck plays no zeros, so that makes sense, honestly. This list discernibly different. Is this the same list? It is. I found the same list. Nice. 150th play with 1 and 5. Perfect list to build to base our deck off of. Cryptic Code is cool. It's a fun one that works well with Simulacrum Synthesizer, right? Not quite what we're looking for here, but we definitely play an Odawara, huh? I think we're just almost certainly not a quad Ugin's Labyrinth deck. But yeah, this deck plays what as zeros? It just plays Mishra's Bauble specifically as the only extra zero. It's not bad. I think this deck does want, like, a set of zeros somewhere. And the answer is probably just we gotta cut. Maybe even cut all the Mirror Enforcers and you just play Frogmere and Sojourner's Companion. Anyway, I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab some water. I'm actually really thirsty. I'm talking way more than I usually do during these streams. Jesus Christ, already 9:30? I have like 3 other decks I want to try. I need to go faster. I'll be right back. Why aren't you sitting at the desk? Why are you sitting on the floor?
Because it's not comfortable on the desk.
You have a desk and a chair.
I don't want it. I need to be taken down to this.
Alright. Alright, chat. Lily, not now. Please leave me alone. So what do we play? We wanted... It looked like we were at about actually a good spot in terms of lands, right? It's just a matter of, I think we want like a tiny bit more enablers for like Mox Opal, Lotus Petal, that sort of stuff. And you just gotta get rid of Mirror Enforcer. I'm sorry. Although if we cut Mirror Enforcer, suddenly all these Eye of Ugin bullshit is unplayable, right? So we drop from 12 to 8. This is just way, 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 way worse now all of a sudden. Yeah, it's already not great at 12. I think you could probably have gotten away, if you were playing the full set of Mirror Enforcers, I think you could probably play like 1 or 2 of them. But it's not like actually Force of Will math, right? Because you can play it as a land that taps for mana sometimes when you need it to. It has a very reasonable mode, which is just, you can play it as a land when you need mana. You don't always need to play it as the soul land. But I think these Ugin's Labyrinths are not playable as currently built. Yes, it's worse than Ancient Tomb, but we're also not allowed to play 8 Ancient Tombs. And City of Traders is also a decent bit worse than Ancient Tomb. But maybe you're allowed to play like 1 City of Traders. Do we want more Silver Bluff bridges? Do we want, like, actual, factual, Great Furnaces? Classic City Traders or the Saga deck. I've done that before. It's been fine. If you go turn 1 Saga, turn 2 City Traders, you make like 2 constructs, and then you just win the game anyway. It's fine. You get Lava Spur Boots, you hit them for like 100 damage. Could play 1 Springleaf. I think if you just need mana, you just grab an Opal, right? If you already have an Opal, you just grab a Petal. Do we want to play that stupid... What was this stupid, bad... the really, really bad mana piece? God, what's this stupid thing called? The Amulet? Something Amulet? That someone suggested in chat earlier? Do we want to play that as the other 0 enabler? Jeweled Amulet? God, this card sucks so much. But, like, it does enable exactly what you want to do, right? It's a 0 that lets you cast your stupid thing on turn 2 and stays in play as an artifact to enable your other bullshit, right? It's one of my favorite horrible Magic cards. I love a good Jeweled Amulet, honestly. I'm kind of in for it a little bit. It probably lets us cut down a tiny bit on lands. I just like, this deck just keeps getting weirder and weirder as I like expand upon it more, huh? Let's get this other Silver Bluff bridge out of here. Are we? Is this allowed? Are we allowed to do this, chat? Is anyone gonna stop me? Looks good now. We've solved it. We fixed the deck. It's perfect. 62 cards. I truly don't know what I would want to cut from this. Maybe you play like 6 feels like you're cutting down so hard on Mirror Enforcers when like these are the cards that are good with Kozilek's Unsealing, right? Don't make a sideboard either, that'll ruin it. Just Pithy Needle, Soul Guide Lantern, Shadow Spear in the sideboard. That's it. That's our whole fucking sideboard. What do people have in sideboards, huh? Haywire Might? That's a card that makes sense. This card does not work with Haywire Might, right? Specifically, it produces the mana that you put into it. Wow, this doesn't even make blue. You have to put blue into it. It doesn't like, you can't like Ancient Tomb Jeweled Amulet get a blue mana going. Wow. That is not good. 32 mana sources. I mean, this deck is like all mana and like that is kind of the design, right? is that it is just mana cards and payoff cards. Like, maybe we could cut down, like, on another land or something. We probably do want to play Haywire Might anyway. Haywire Might just always ends up being pretty good in these Saga Petal Opal decks. Do we just have to play Dismember? Is that the best card? Can we play, like, Warping Whale to kill? Are there other colorless cards that, like, we could add to this deck? Probably not. Warping Whale kind of sucks, but it's like a Doomsday slash Orcish Bowmaster card. Come back. Where'd you go? Cut shot. Kozilek's Command? Oh god, I don't know what Kozilek's Command does, chat. Wait, what? Didn't hit back? Eldrazi Charm. Isn't that Warping Whale? Isn't that the card I was just talking about? Eldrazi Confluence? Oh, isn't that an EDH card? Kozilek's Command. X, colorless, colorless. Target player makes X scions. Target player scries and draws a card. Exile target creature, mana value X or less. It's 4 mana to kill a Bowmaster. It's so fucked up they put the modes on it like this. Why not just exile the creature before you draw the card, right? They didn't have to do it like this. They didn't have to get, like, Bowmaster gets you on the way out. Like, they could have just swapped the choices, right? There's no reason they had to print it like this. That's so rude. It is sick, though, that it's Kindred Eldrazi, so you can cast it with Eldrazi Temple. That's kind of a banger. Maybe we should brew Eldrazi, too. That's a little bit lower on my list, but maybe if we have some time. It's already 9:40. God damn it. We need to get past this stupid deck. Could have played Null Drifter. No, stop it. Isn't Warping Water better than Spatial Contortion? I mean, Spatial Contortion would come up more against, like, say, Delver, right? Spatial Contortion would be a card that's pretty bad against a lot of the Bowmaster decks because it only really hits Bowmaster. Although, notably, it can counter, like, Reanimate and stuff out of Scam. So, like, maybe Warping Whale's okay. That it hits Bowmaster plus Reanimate, and then also you board in for, like, Doomsday or Storm or whatever. You probably do want some number of just actual Dismember, right, to hit, you know, other bullshit. Well, let's play some Warping Whales, though. I kind of like that card. Do we have enough colorless mana to actually support Warping Whale? Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Never mind. We actually can't cast Warping Whale this deck, can we? I mean, also Grim Monolith, but, like, woof. Maybe we're not actually allowed to cast Warping Whale in this deck. Titan's Presence. Katie, go to bed. I know it's the Titan's Presence, like, isn't that the one that's like 3 mana, reveal a colorless creature from your hand, target creature gets like -X, -X, where that's X is that creature's CMC? Exile creature less than the revealed CMC. Yeah. Is that what I said? Oh, maybe less than or equal to, something like that. Oh no, it was -X, -X. Yeah, no, that was different. It was CMC versus like giving it -X, -X. Love that you can't kill Murktide with it. Just reveal Ulamog. Skill issue. Do we play Chalice or the stupid counterspell that I've already forgotten the name of, even though chat reminded me the name of the counterspell? You probably play some blue elemental blasts, huh? Metallic Rebuke, yeah, that one. Sark's kind of sicko, huh? throw some Mind Break Traps in here for good measure, just to fuck up Tony's day if we ever run into him on Friday. About Ugin's Binding. That's a card I thought about. That card seems really hard to get payoff, though, because you have to cast it for the 3 mana, and then, like, you're getting a Cyclonic Rift, which is pretty powerful sometimes, but also pretty bad sometimes. Maybe you, like, sideboard Ugin's Binding for matchups that, like, play a lot to the board, but... Did I just, like, not add any of the cards we were just talking about to, like, try to beat Bowmaster? Does it also bounce your stuff? I thought it was actual Cyclonic Rift. You don't like the new art? So something that actually I thought of, was mentioned to me on a YouTube comment was when we had a bunch of fun and made, like, the all irredeemably bad D&T arts stream. Someone commented that it was actually, like, unrecognizable to the point that it made the video harder to watch. So I'm trying to err on more recognizable arts a lot when I'm building these decks now. It's definitely something that I am sympathetic to. It's just like when my deck is all just fucking nonsense arts all the time, it's just like kind of a little bit of an eyesore to the point that it's harder to understand what's happening in the game state. Well, maybe for if we're just like just the Mind Break Trap's probably fine. It's actual upheaval? Okay, yeah, no, that card's way worse then. Obviously, like, in a deck like Affinity, it's easier to redeploy everything in your hand versus your opponent's, but still. A little rough. I just want to finish this and be done with it. Graph, Diggers, Cage. I'm really bad at I'm good at putting concepts and then, like, really bad at getting them realized into, like, final products enough to stream with them, huh? What's a card that actually kills Bowmaster, chat? That isn't the stupid shit that we mentioned? It is Cyclonic Rift? Okay, yeah. I thought it was Cyclonic Rift. Spatial Contortion and Warping are both colorless, so they're a little harder to cast, huh? We could technically play Gut Shot. Maybe we'll just play Walking Ballista, huh? Maybe we can just, like, sideboard 2 copies for, like, creature matchups. Something like that? Yeah, that's probably fine. I'm not looking at Piracy Charm. I refuse. Gut Shot's, like, maybe fine. We don't need, like, 4 Jeweled Amulet. It's just Funeral Charm. That's not helpful! I know Funeral Charm is a mode. It has mode discard a card. That's it. Let's go with this. This is probably fine. Next deck list.
You're making a bunch of decks?
Yeah, we're getting ready for Friday, so I don't waste a bunch of time building decks on Friday, and we have more time for games.
Play different decks on Friday?
Yeah. Piracy Charm actually kills Bowmasters. Trickery Charm may be unironically good. I refuse to look up Trickery Charm. We're moving on, chat. Alright, chat, what do we want to see next? Mono Black something? I want to do Mono Black Scam-ish with the Saga, with the Avacyn Saga. Might also be the 3-drop Goyf deck, unsure. We could build Moonstompy. I think Moonstompy would just look like Moonstompy, but with the MDFC, so I think that's extremely boring. And it would also take like 5 minutes to build. We could build Eldrazi Stompy. Did we already do Mono White Yorion? Yes. All these deck lists will get posted on probably Twitter or something eventually. Did you read the stream title, Danny? There's no brainstorms allowed in here. We're not brewing breakfast. Someone else can brew breakfast. We could build Eldrazi Stompy. I'm a little bit interested to see what Eldrazi Stompy might look like. For other cards. could build 20 posts. We could build post. I think I'm not a good post builder. Post is a deck that I would definitely copy paste before I myself built it, I think. What other cards would I be interested in? Oh, we could build the mono blue stompy deck. I was interested in trying to play Harbinger of the Seas, plus like a bunch of 2 and a blue cards in like a Chrome Mox shell. We could build mono blue stompy, the creation of Avacyn, scam, mono black scam. I'm not building a Necrodominance deck. Oh shit, we could have put Refurbished Familiar in this deck. No, fuck. Stop thinking about the Affinity deck. Stop it. Creation of Avacyn seems fun. Yeah, let's do the Creation of Avacyn deck. I'm like kind of interested in what that looks like. I also bookmarked a scam deck on Twitter. How's Katie's poll doing? Okay, I'm like a little justified. It's like 50% yes, 20% spiting me, 30% no. It's like Cup Island's like fine. I don't hate Cup Island. I think it's just like eh. I guess Katie already left. So she's not here to hear me shit talk Cup Island while she's gone.
Do you need my expert opinion?
No, I know I'm right with this one. What the hell? Why is my... Where's the sound of another stream coming from, chat? Ah. Where did that... One of my other tabs just started playing a Twitch stream. Bizarre. Assuming you don't want to try to look at Oops in any fashion. Yeah, technically not a Brainstorm deck, but I'm definitely not a combo player. In the same vein that I'm not going to build a Necrodominance deck, I will leave that to the Necrodominance sickos. I'm also not going to try my hand at rebuilding Oops mana bases because my brain is not hardwired to play Oops. But this is a deck I feel could play... We could build some sort of like mono black scam that actually plays like Entomb Reanimate with Creation of Avacyn and like Atraxa Archon. Maybe you're allowed to put Chromox in this deck too, but like something along the lines of this shell. Maybe you're allowed to play not Necrogoyf. Necrogoyf is the 1-drop one, right? Or is that the MH2 one? There are too many Goyfs. Let's get a deck. Mono MH3 Creation of Scamus. Alright, let's get all the good scam cards in here. We can think about if we want to be a Chromox deck or not. A lot of good Dark Ritual Arts. I'm a fan of this one. Orcish Bowmaster, probably Dothy Voidwalker. Because the one knock about Goyf in this deck is that we are not a Ancient Tomb deck, because we have a ton of black pips. Reanimate. Grief. Eternally sad that the Judge promo of Darkrit is fake on MTGO. I don't even know what that means. What do you mean it's fake? Dark Ritual. I know the Judge promo... Wait. Man, do I know the Judge promo? Oh, I'm thinking the Judge promo, the Demonic Tutor instead. The last Dark Red art. Oh, this one? Yeah. It looks so weird in that text box. Troll of Kazed. Is that how to spell that? Nice. Am I missing any? I think this becomes an Entomb deck, which means, does it also become a, like, some number of Animate Deads deck? Entomb, Atraxa. Archon of Cruelty. What's a one black card, chat? We need a 1 black permanent to represent our creation of... I guess I should maybe, before I delve deeper, we should actually talk about the Creation of Avacyn card, right? Creation of Avacyn says 1 black saga, search your library for a card, exile it face down, shuffle. Next turn, you flip the card face up. If it's a creature, you lose life equal to its mana value. And then step 3, you can put the exiled card onto the battlefield if it's a creature. Otherwise, you put it in your hand. So basically, this is like a cool way to go around graveyard hate. So like, even if we are like an Entomb Reanimate, like very heavy graveyard deck, and our opponent boards in like Leyline of the Void or whatever, if you like just Dark Ritual out your Creation of Avacyn, it can be really busted and go just right around all the hate that isn't specifically like Containment Priest or something similar. Oubliette. Chat wants an Oubliette, huh? I can dig it. So what does this deck look like? It was Stalactite Stalkers. Opposition Agents are kind of filling out the fluff here to play like a more fair role. What does the Goyf look like in this format? Barrow Goyf. Death Touch Lifelink. And whenever you deal combat damage, you can mill that many cards and put a creature card from amongst them into your hand. So this card's like pretty good against Leyline. It's okay against Leyline of the Wood, right? Because it still feeds off your opponent's graveyard, and you can still generate card advantage with it. Something an interesting card. We don't want to be too heavy on graveyard stuff because this deck does want to kind of skirt the line, make your opponent uncomfortable to have all their graveyard hate against you when you get to do stuff like Creation of Avacyn, or just like beat them down with Bowmaster's Deep Voidwalkers. I feel like this might want to be a Chromox deck, huh? I could definitely see Chrome, like a lot, especially with a lot of these weird situational cards. Like you can pitch your Creation of Avacyn to your Chromox. Chromox enables more like turn 1 and 2 Reanimate hands. Do you want Ripple of Undeath? Chat, you please, if you're gonna suggest a weird card that I'm not gonna know, can you please just like do the exclamation point card or whatever the bot does, so I don't have to like look up all these cards. I don't know what Ripple of Undeath is, dog. Oh, there's Eldrazi Confluence, which is also mentioned when we were talking about stuff earlier. There's also the main set Nethergoyf. Yeah, that's the other card. I don't think Nethergoyf probably sees play. Did you just Mush, did you just hallucinate what this Ripple of Undeath card is? Oh, the bot might not have new cards. Is this a new card? Okay. Sorry, you don't have to use the bot for new cards. I didn't think about that. Bot probably doesn't have the new cards yet. Ripple, I don't know. This is just alphabetical order. Ripple of Undeath. Oh, this is just Sylvan Library. No, this is like the black mill enabling Sylvan Library. This card's more interesting, I think, in a deck that wants to really fuel its graveyard, like a weird like Hogak adjacent deck that wants to play this kind of like slow card advantage game plan. I think I would sooner just play Necro Dominance in my deck and use it fairly, right? And just be like, oh, I'm just gonna pay some life, draw up to 5 or whatever. Like, this deck probably could honestly play Necrodominance, if we're like a Dark Ritual Chromox deck, we'd put like Shield Red in here. Be a Necrodominance deck. Wait, fuck. Chat, is this a Necrodominance deck? Necrodominance is bad with Reanimate. I mean, it's also bad with Avacyn's whatever, right? But it's like, who cares sometimes? You just fucking kill them. Maybe this is a Necrodominance deck already, huh? Already at 34, but these guys are lands. Is there like a weird flex land I can play just so I have lands in this deck? No, not even a little bit. Yeah, you probably want to be a Thoughtseize deck, huh? Barrogoyf gains life for Necro, true. What's up, Spider Space? How's it going? You can't fuck around too much trying to find a swamp. I don't have enough respect for this deck to find a good swamp art. We're just gonna scroll to the bottom and find like a vaguely cool one. Oh, this one's kind of a banger, huh? Alright, I dig this swamp. Let's get the swamp in here, huh? Is this just gonna be like a almost entirely swamp mana base? Like, if you are a I guess we could play the MDFCs, right? Wait, what are the two MDFCs? What are the new ones? What are these? Are they in a weird spot? Can I just look at full set now? Is there like full set reviews for this shit? Yeah, here we go. Are MDFCs in a weird spot by collector's number? Are they like in their own category? Is that why I don't see any of them? Or am I just like scrolling way too fast? Because these are all already... Oh, here they are. Okay. All the flip cards are at the end, sure. What does Sorin do? Okay, no, this card sucks. That's fine. Fel the Profane seems kind of fucked up, though, huh? You can put this in a Chromox mana base? This card seems like really fucking good, huh? It's just a... There's like, isn't this already on a dual land that comes, a black dual land that comes in tapped? It's just like 4 mana destroy a creature, costs 1 less if they don't control any basic lands or something. But then it's a tap land. Like, Fel the Profane is really good. Hagra Mauling, yeah, that sounds like the one. I kind of want this to be a Chromox deck now. I kind of want this to be a Chromox Fel the Profane deck. Oh, I'm searching for cards that are basic. And named Chromox. Oops. Just put like 9 swamps in here. See what we end up on. What's that card? What's the flip card? Fuck. The actual flip card, the MDFC that actually exists. The black X one. By the time I look it up, someone's gonna figure it out in chat. No, we don't want Hagra Molding. I guess we could use Hagra Molding as Agadeem's Awakening is what I'm thinking of, yeah. We can use this guy as our representation for the actually good MDFC. Troll of Khazad-dûm's like kind of a land. How many lands was this deck playing? It notably was a Wasteland deck, so it's gonna be a little different, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 3 trolls, so this is actually like pretty reasonable. Chat, is this just a Necrodominance deck? I don't think so. I think we'd want like actually more like you want like Shieldred and Necrodominance, I think. Which, like, we could put into this deck still. Or we could just put in, like, 2 Animate Deads and, like, some Necrogoyfs or something, huh? I like Chromox because we have all these, like, weirdly super situational cards. Like, the Tomb's only good if you try to set it up with Reanimate. Necro and Reanimation feel... I mean, not really, though, right? Because if one of your plans is going off... I guess if the Necro Dominance plan goes off, your Reanimation plan gets worse. But if your Reanimation plan is going off, then they're just fucking dead, and the Necro Dominance doesn't matter. Does Necro turn off our cards? I mean, sure. I guess you can't, like, entomb anymore, but, like, I don't know how much that matters. I think fair Necro Dominance is something that's I'll be a little bit underrepresented or undertested. But maybe we won't try it in the initial build, huh? Maybe we'll just play, like... Do we want Stalker? Do we want Necro... We could play the Goyf and, like, just play a couple of fetch lands. Right? Yeah, we might have enough life loss. I think we probably want, like, at least one Shield Dread. You can also, like... Creation of Avacyn into, like, a cheaper card, right? Lose less life and just put in a Shield Dread versus, like, Delver or something. If you're afraid of getting Brazen Borrowed. Can we do something like this? Could we like 2 Goyfs just for fun? I just kind of want to put the card into play. What's the card that exists? The really bad one, Nether Goyf. That's the MH2 one that's like really unplayable, or is that the new one? Fuck. Is it Necro Goyf then? Wow, this card is so bad. Oh, jeez, this card sucks, huh? What's the cut here, huh? Maybe we just play... I just want to play more Necro Goyfs. Let's cut a shield. Let's play a sideboard Shield Dread and a main deck Shield Dread, huh? This looks pretty okay. I kind of dig this.
Do you want to shuffle these in your hand a little bit? See how they feel? I put a real magic card in there.
They definitely don't slide like real magic cards.
Hmm?
They definitely don't slide in your hand like real magic cards.
With the sleeves it might be.
Yeah, with the, I mean the sleeves will slide normally. I'm just...
Card shuffling ASMR.
And then sideboard, you probably just want like interaction, removal, mind break traps. What does this have? Leyline of Void makes a lot of sense. Turok makes a lot of sense. Chains of Mephistopheles I think makes a lot of sense. I think Turok does make some sense. I think this deck probably does suffer versus Beans a lot, the way it's currently designed. I think Creation of Avacyn's probably at its worst versus a deck like Beans. So we could potentially be a Chains deck. I don't think I'd hate that. We could be a Leyline of the Void deck. Potentially. I think you could probably get away with playing like 3 Leylines, though, as currently built. Bowmasters? We got Bowmasters in our deck already. This is like... Oh, this is a Macabre Leyline split. Interesting. We could be a Plague Engineer deck, potentially. There's not a lot that I'm that scared of. Could be a Null Rod deck. Contamination. I don't think we have the ability to feed a Contamination. That would make that interesting. Phyrexian Tower over a Swamp or 2. We could probably play like what's it called? Takenuma over like 1 Swamp is probably fine. I don't know if I've ever actually channeled the Takenuma though. Has anyone ever in the history of Takenuma managed to channel this card relevantly? In Pioneer, yeah. Okay, that's fair, yeah. Yeah, I guess it does happen a ton in Standard. There's a whole deck that does it. Modern. Interesting. I guess, like, Scam probably can't even free roll it, but yes, Gurk. Standard Gurk makes a lot of sense for playing a Takenuma. I probably want, like, Null Rods. These decks have famously been, like, pretty bad against Urza Saga in my experience. These, like, mono black decks. So, like, we could play something like Null Rod or, like, Powder Keg effects. The classic Null Rod Powder Keg combo, in fact. What about the Pioneer Manland? I think we have enough things that are expensive that we don't really want that. I'm not super interested in the monocolor creature lands in decks that go up a little bit on curve in Legacy. They were really good at Moonstompy because the deck operated so well off of, like, a Soul Land and a single other mana source, but I don't think I'd want to play Hive of the Eye Tyrant in a deck that wants to, like, be hard casting your top end pretty regularly. This is a deck that might actually want that Pithing Needle card, huh? We just play Flute for fun. Let's play Sorceress Spyglass. Well, your combo matchups where you'd want that card are just really busted already, though, right? We're like a Thoughtseize Grief Reanimate, like, main deck Voidwalker Bowmaster deck. Theoretically, your combo matchups are great, and you don't need a card like the Flute. Maybe that doesn't matter, and we'll play it anyway. And we want removal spells, actually. Removal spells is something where we are missing. Do we want Snuff Out, or do we want, like, Shio's Edict? Shieldred's Edict's probably not bad, and then... Why did I just fucking type in Shieldred like an idiot? Is probably, like, fine. Removal spells to this deck play. Feed the Swarm. I think we're okay if we're getting Leyline. Do we have enough, like, other situational options? Powder Keg, Null Rod, Damping Sphere is an interesting one. Let's just play, like, a second Powder Keg. Maybe we want the other Powder Keg. What's the oil counter Powder Keg? Fuck, what is that card? The Filigree Silex. I was trying to think of the word Silex. Just could not come to mind. This looks surprisingly okay. I think the sideboard in this deck specifically is, like, very much a miss. This was definitely a lot of floundering, but this shell seems like pretty interesting. Just, like, Dark Ritualing out, Creation of Avacyn, exiling, like, an Atraxa or an Archon could be really interesting. Just, like, a mono-black Reanimator deck, basically. We have, like, Dark Ritual and Chrome Mox to empower, like, really fast busted starts, and then in post-board games, if we get Leyline of the Voided, we still have a bunch of options, like hard casting Griefs and Shieldreds and Dothies, and then also Creation of Avacyn still. Alright, catch you later, Frankensteiner. Hopefully you'll be able to catch some of what we got cooking on Friday, huh? Whoops, did I have this as a standard deck? How do I fix that? Properties. Legacy. Lake of the Dead to help hardcasting? Yeah, probably not. If we went harder into Reanimator, maybe, and then we're, like, trying to cast, like, Grave Titan or whatever. New deck time. We're moving on. Hey, don't jump up there. I see you. Go away. Ugh. What else we got? Let's build the mono blue. We're just building, like, infinite scam decks today. Or not scam decks, infinite Chromox decks today. That's kind of my MO, though, right? We already built D&T, so now we just build all the Chromox decks. Do you think Nadu does legacy things? People are hyped for it in Cephalid Breakfast. I would be surprised to see it find a home outside of specifically that deck. Kitty.
Where'd you go? Down. Get.
I think that mono black deck was supposed to play at Gemstone Caverns. Now that I'm thinking about it. Maybe I'll remember on Friday, maybe I won't. I think a decent number of the decks I've built today are probably supposed to be playing at Gemstone Caverns, actually. Let's build. So this deck is a deck that I have consistently gone back to and been like, this deck is like a card or two away from being reasonable. It just, like, Hull Breacher is a really, really busted card to cast off of your Ancient Tombs. The problem is the rest of the shell is not quite there. And the other problem is that the new Magus the Moon is not very good with Ancient Tomb and City of Traders, but despite that, I think the card might be good enough to see play in this deck. Also, notably, this deck might end up being a Cavern of Souls deck if you play, like, Hull Breacher, Tishana's Tidebinder, and Magus of the... What's that card called? Harbinger of the Sea? Magus of the Monsoon? But there's also a Harbinger of the Tides, right? That's just like a fully different card. Harbinger of the Tides is that blue bounce merfolk, I think, right? How many Harbingers are there? Oh god, there's so many Harbingers. Yeah, Harbinger of the Tides is different. It's Harbinger of the Seas is the new one. We're just gonna put Magus the Moon in this deck. God, what did I used to play in this deck? It was Tishana's Tidebinder was like another 2 and a blue card that I was interested in casting. And then all of the new blue cards. What? Anyone know the name of the really, really bad MDFC? So the cool thing about this deck is that it actually gets 2 really powerful MDFCs instead of 1 really bad one. The cool thing that isn't the new Magus. The new Magus is cool and interesting if we're allowed to cast it, but like both Hydroelectric Specimen and Sink into Stupor are really powerful MDFCs. I do think notably that every color gets approximately 2 good MDFCs now, which is really cool with Chrome Mox decks. Blue just had 0, notably. That card, the fucking a million mana draw spell is really bad, and both these cards are really cool. Like, this card is castable. It's like the perfect Ancient Tomb mana cost, right? It's 2 and a blue, and it does protect your stuff like Magus of the Seas, whatever, Harbinger of the Seas. It protects it with a redirection, so it protects it from, like, Leyline Binding. Oh, no, it actually doesn't protect from Leyline Binding. It's specifically in certain sorceries. Whatever. Protects it from, like, Lightning Bolt or Swords to Plowshares or whatever black removal spell you want to name. And then you also just get Sink into Stupor, which is just a pretty good, like, remand / bounce spell thing. I think this card's, like, pretty sick for a mono blue Chromox deck. Maybe even more so than the Magus. Seagate Restoration? Yeah, we're just gonna put, like, 8 Seagate Restorations in this deck. Also, notably, something that I don't know, how many of these MDFCs you are allowed to play in the average Chromox Stompy deck? I truly don't know what the answer to that is. I will definitely be trying 8 in, like, Moon Stompy and stuff. With Shatter Skull Smashing and the Stone Rain thing. I will be trying numbers that are greater than 4. 8 is likely too many. Bolt lands is a very real cost in a format like Legacy where there's a lot of like aggressive decks that can punish you. Delver and even like blue-black scam. Eight Magus. I mean, no, this is not actual Magus of the Moon. We're not playing. This card is very uncastable in our mono blue deck. But hopefully the addition of these 8 blue lands that also pitch to Chromox makes like a 1 blue card more playable. Yeah, that's kind of the thesis, Nordic, is that like the lands that pitch to Chromox are really, really, really good for decks like these. So maybe you are like, I want to try to stretch the limits and see how many you can play. So I will definitely probably be starting with 8 in a lot of these shells. Otawara. I don't know if you're allowed to play Narset. Narset does pick up your land, which is kind of sick. One of them, at least. But, like, we are going to have a lot of creatures. But maybe we're allowed to be, like, a Narset. I don't know. Narset. That is a tough one. Yeah, I know Harbinger is 1 blue. Harbinger is just, I think, a better card. Yeah, like a card that I want in this deck more than I want Narset. Let's play this one instead. Changed up the island a little bit. But, like, you could maybe play, like, a couple of Narsets in here to make the Days Undoing a little bit better. Like, Force of Will plus Chromox means that you maybe don't need to make the Days Undoing that much better, but I don't think it's an... Oh, I'm searching for basic Chalice of the Voids. Fuck. Keep doing that. I don't think it's an LED Echo deck. Unless we had, like, more synergy with it. This is almost certainly a Chalice of the Void deck, though. Do people play Negation Mania in Legacy? Sometimes. Control decks, you'll usually see a copy. Like, I'll see, like, 2 copies in a lot of control decks, usually 1 to 2. Mostly in, like, Delver sideboards and, like, as a couple copies as well. But... what did my old unplayable deck, Stompy, used to look like? Oh, I talked about Tishana's Tidebinder, and then I just, like, didn't add it to the deck. This card, I don't know if this card is actually a Legacy power level. It's mostly that it's, like, kind of nice mana cost-wise. Again, 2 and a blue. Reasonably powerful. Are we a Cavern of Souls deck with 12 reasonable merfolk here? Obviously pretty bad with Days Undoing. Also, we could be a Subdual T. I never know how to spell Subdual T. I missed a letter. Fuck. Now everyone in chat knows that I can't fucking spell subtlety. Could be like an Urza. There's a second T. I knew there was a fucking subtle T. There we go. Thank you, Sweeney. If we're like a subtlety Days Undoing deck, maybe you're allowed to play like a few copies of Cavern of Souls and just not like a full 4. Just as kind of a flex colorless land that's really good at like uncounterable Hullbreacher, uncounterable Magus are like pretty fucked up options, huh? This deck definitely needs like 4 more lands. We'll probably play some of our City of this is again a pretty bad City of Traders deck though, so probably like 1 copy. Maybe we just play some islands like this. This looks like kind of like a deck. The only issue is the closing speed again. That's always the snag I hit with decks that I build like this, is that there isn't a good finisher. There's no Goblin Rabble Master in blue to like actually try to kill your opponent in any reasonable time frame after you lock them out with something stupid. Someone's gonna tell me that there's the stupid 2 and a blue thing that makes soldiers when it attacks, and you can tap the soldiers to draw cards or whatever. Please do not suggest that card. That card's very bad. Sky March Enforcer, that sounds about right. Three mana creatures you need to untap with tribal. I mean, you don't necessarily need to untap with Blaze. Like, has flash and an ETB, has flash and not an ETB, but you are usually casting it to disrupt a thing, and like is like a very like powerful disruptive card to try to prevent your opponent from winning the game, right? We could try to put Dreamtide Whale in this deck as the last 4 cards, huh? I think it's a little hard to be double spelling in this deck, outside of like your zeros. We could play Chromos Seed Shark, but that doesn't actually do anything. Like, it's good with exactly Force of Will, but like really bad. I mean, it's okay with this with the sinking into stupor. Sky Strike Officer. Chromos Seed Shark, ironically, that like makes Narset a little bit better. Want to do that? I probably still wants to summon Blue Elemental Blast, mostly because Red Elemental Blast is so good against it. Obviously, a little bit of anti-synergy with Chalice, but it's never stopped me from putting Blasts and Chalices in the same deck before. Nimble Obstruction. I think we're good on Stifles. I don't think we need Obstructionist plus Tidebinder. Which blue is this, by the way? So I have 21 blue swords. Alright, that's much better than I thought, actually. That's certainly not bad. Might even be able to fit like more caverns or something in there. I'm trying to envision Chromos Seed Shark in this list, and if it's like actually playable. So we would have what? This. It's just this and Chalice. Not bad, not great. Are we allowed to just play Cryptic Coat in this deck and not pitch it to Chromox? Like, we have enough Chromox pitches, right? 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28? Like, with the addition of the lands, maybe you're allowed to just play enough blue cards that you can play a card like Cryptic Coat, which is like kind of a value engine. Also, it was like pretty sick with Hull Breacher and Tashana's Tidebinder. I played like True Name Nemesis in this deck in the past, just as like a card that kills your opponent. True Name Nemesis also works like with the caverns and stuff. Maybe we could like not be on 4 subtleties. We could play like some of our True Names. Something like this though. Sideboard cards. We are. When is this deck bad? Besides always. It's bad when your Hull Breacher shit isn't working. Gets like D&T and Stompy and stuff, so you want more removal spells. We have Blasts for Moon Stompy. Dismembers are good. I really don't know what a sideboard for this deck looks like. Is it just Leyline of the Voids? Just every deck scared of graveyard fuckery. Oops, not what I wanted to do. This is a deck that could definitely use. This deck has some permanent hate and a lot of hand-based like combo hate. This deck could definitely use like the weird pithing needle thing. I could see this card being playable because the deck kind of wants a pithing needle sort of effect. It's an Ancient Tomb deck. It's an Ancient Tomb like whatever land Chromox deck. You want more weird card suggestions? I mean, not. I think the answer to that is no. This card's not on MTGO. I really don't want to hear what you're about to tell me. Oh wait, this deck, hang on. This deck definitely wants to be a Gemstone Caverns deck. We can afford to cut an island. Aboleth spawn? Oh, that thing just sucks. That thing's not very good. It's my main beef with that guy. How many creature ETBs are we trying to copy with Aboleth spawn? Oh, copy Bowmaster. I get a ping. Brazen Borrower. Oh yeah, we would sideboard Brazen Borrower. That's a good one. I played Brazen Borrower main deck in this deck before. Brazen Borrower is a good pull though. I dig that. I dig this a lot. I think this deck feels more rough around the edges in the main deck, whereas I like really liked how the black deck looked. I don't like how this deck looks at all, but like the core identity of the deck is there in a way that I'm definitely willing to spew some play points trying to like jam this through leagues and seeing where all the cracks start showing up. How many decks do we got now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not really counting this Chromox DNT list because it's the same as this, except just with 4 Chromoxes and Yorion. We got like 5 lists. That's not bad. It's 10:30. We could do an Eldrazi Stompy deck. We did all this shit. I could build Moon Stompy. It would take like 5 seconds because it would just be Moon Stompy with 4 Smoldering Eruptions to try. That's approximately it. Let's just do that, huh? I even know a great place to pull a Moon Stompy deck list. Not this one. Not this one. This one's really bad. Don't look at this one. Wait, no. It doesn't show my list, right? My list always show up as R instead of Mono Red Prison for an ungodly reason. My list, if you go to XJ Cloud, my lists are... some of them have been updated to Mono Red Prison, but my recent ones are just R. Fucking conspiracy. What do you mean? Carnage Interpreter is garbage? What? Perhaps. Perhaps that is what I mean. I didn't get to bitch about this on stream, I don't think, also, chat. Man, I'm so fucking disappointed with Pinnacle Monk. I know not every card is built for me specifically, but I really, the bar was so low for Moon Stompy to get a sicko creature to put in its deck. A sicko MDFC creature. Like, I would have literally registered Grey Ogre, split card, Bolt land. This card is just 5 mana 2/2. Like, with that cares about instants and sorceries. God damn, am I disappointed with this card. I'm happy for any prowess, whatever, sickos that are going to register this card. It's going to be sick. It's going to be a land drop early, and it's going to be like a mana dump late game. But it probably won't show up in all those decks, because a lot of those decks are like Giganta decks, and you're not allowed to play this in a Giganta deck. But, like, man, am I mad about this. Hopefully Sundering Eruption is okay. We will see. Let's just play 8 Shatter Skull Smashings. And cut 2 Dens, 2 Mountains, I think. The other thing is that, what's the card? Sudden Eruption does make Magus of the Moon a little bit better, because you get to potentially, like, blow up your opponent's basics from underneath your Blood Moons. So the addition of Sudden Eruption could mean that you want to be a Magus Moon deck again or something. I want to test out the red Tarmogoyf, but it might be too much of 4 mana. I don't... Dog, I'm going to be real with you. No clue what the red Tarmogoyf does. I gotta imagine it's dog shit. We'll check for the sake of math. I gotta imagine this card sucks. Pyrogoyf. Whenever Pyrogoyf or another Lurgoyf enters the battlefield, it deals power. It's actually kind of sick. It's a lot better than I thought it was gonna be. It's not a Moon Stompy card, but it's like kind of cool, right? It's any target. It's just like a Flametone cover that just like domes your opponent, like it can go face. It's like kind of sicko. It's like not the worst card I've ever like tried to read. It's also just like goes crazy if you play multiple of them, right? If you play one to another, it just like can dome your opponent for like 5 or whatever. This guy, yeah, this one's kind of sick, huh? Anyway, maybe we're allowed to be a Magus of the Moon deck again. Maybe we like sideboard 2 copies of the One Ring or something for the mirror, and we like main deck Magus of the Moon to try to pair with the Stone Rain. Something like this. Wait, fuck, I only cut 1 card, huh? Yeah, this is fine. We could potentially even play like more Magus of the Moons. Wait. Oh, because I cut 3 cards from the main deck. We could play like 1 main deck ring, maybe. Bring back the other Brotherhood's End. I think Null Elemental Blast is probably unplayable unless something drastically shifts in the format. How many multicolored spells are people casting in this format, right? It's like Uro, 4th Aerolingus, kind of. What's after that? What's next on the list? Can destroy an Atraxa after it draws them 5 cards. I'm not a modern player, Ashanti, sorry to say. Definitely not my area of expertise. Greetings, streamer. Are we sticking with the Gemstone Caverns? I think so. I think the Gemstone Caverns is good. I've like always kind of wanted to play it in Moon Stompy, and just kind of didn't. And then Max put it in the list, and I was like, yeah, I like this a lot more. And then he specifically cut a Den of the Bugbear because he was playing more 4-drops and stuff. So like the Gemstone nod made a lot more sense too. I think the Gemstone Caverns is good. This is probably fine. You can maybe even fit in a 3rd the One Ring or something. Maybe fit in a 3rd Magus the Moon somewhere. But why is this? What is wrong with you, Moto? None of my decks are legal. I guess. Oh, that's why these MH3 ones are down here, because they contain 8 copies of Shatter Skull Smashing, or 8 copies of like the MDFCs and stuff. I have turn 0 Pyroblasted people before. I've beaten a lot of combo decks before with Sibian Spirit Guide, like Dead Gone, your fucking, what is it, Killabees decks, when they were like Containment Construct, Riddlesmith or whatever. I would like pitch Spirit Guide, Containment Construct, dead your Katama construct. I would definitely like turn 0 Pyroblasted off of Gemstone Caverns. I literally did that in the top 8 of the event. I turned 0 Pyroblasted a Thought Cast out of 8 cast with Gemstone Caverns. But yeah, this is probably the only thing I would do with Moonstompy. Obviously, I would tweak the deck to... Dog, get out of here. Get. Moonstompy is a very, like, is a deck that loves to target and attack a meta, so it's a really hard deck to build for a new meta like this, because you have no idea what people are going to be showing up with. You're going to be playing against a lot of random nonsense that people are trying, and your deck won't be very good at and tuned to beat that nonsense. So Moonstompy's not a deck I'm super interested in exploring in greater depth until the meta starts to settle a little bit. But this is probably where I would start with. I would just start testing extra copies of MDFCs, because I think playing extra MDFCs is really powerful in these Chromox decks. What's the weakest Stompy color? Probably blue, maybe white. We built a blue Stompy deck, and it was definitely the least interesting looking, or the least powerful looking. White we haven't even built, unless you count the D&T list as a Stompy deck. I think Ancient Tomb is more prerequisite of Stompy than Chromox. I guess green, yeah, potentially. We built a sick green Stompy deck that I streamed once. The Natural Order Stompy deck. Man, I missed that one. That deck was fucking sick. Have we talked about the 3-mana black Goyf? Yeah, I think that card's probably playable in like some mono black lists of varying shapes and sizes. It's a little bit better with Ancient Tomb, and the current list I'm trying is trying to play Creation of Avacyn, which makes Ancient Tomb worse. But there's a world where like maybe Creation of Avacyn's bad, and you can play a more mid-range focused deck with like Stalactite Stalker and like more Goyfs, and you can play Ancient Tomb to pair with the Goyf to cast it faster. Stuff like that. Alright, are there any other sicko cards that we want to build with? There's a world that we can build an Eldrazi Stompy. We can try to rebuild Eldrazi Stompy in some way. I'm not 100% seeing the vision. Are there any cards that I missed? I think I covered most of my bases, the decks that I wanted to build. There's a world where we could build a mono-white Stompy deck with the same sort of Chromox thing with Razorgrash, Ambush, and Witch Enchanter. There's a land that's every type, yeah. I'm not a big Cloud Post guy. So I don't know if I could put that together. Chromox and white deck seems really tempting. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be trying D&T with Chromox in it. I think the MDFCs just really enable Chromox decks in a pretty powerful way in Legacy. $16 post. Oh yeah, with the new the mill post too. Finally, Doomsday matchup is saved. Nadu seems really cool in Breakfast. We are not brainstorm casters here. I will simply lose to that card. 6 is an interesting card. I'm definitely not... Like, this is probably in some sort of, like, weird Landsy, Loamy, Depthsy shell. Ancient Psychic Frog is Legacy playable. I've heard rumblings that that card is, like, cracked in, like, tempo decks, and, like, Grixis Delver, or even in Scam. I have no strong opinions on it. I hope it's playable, because it's just, like, a really fucking cool card, and it's a frog. Gonna show my crack is the 5 million mana white MDFC. We say we just register this. You haven't lived until you cast that card. I've cast that card so many fucking times. God damn, it's bad. It's so nice that all the colors get like 2 good MDFCs now. We could even maybe play the other MDFC, in our mono black deck that we built that was playing for fellow profanes, you could maybe even play some Boggart Trawlers. Boggart Trawler are also interesting in a variant of the mono black deck that plays Ancient Tomb, because again, like, good Ancient Tomb cost, and like reasonably statted body that also pressures graveyards against like Scam or Delver. You could just like put this card in, as part of like your mono black shell, as like part of like the beatdown plan around graveyard stuff. Lost a vintage finals a while back. Your opponent cast White Chancellor into White Chancellor into White MDFC. Yeah, I've definitely been there. Especially makes a lot more sense in vintage too, where they just like sometimes you got a soul ring and a bunch of jewelry lying around. Yeah, I think we did cover most of what I wanted to see. It'll be interesting to see in decks that other people cook up. Like during the day, if we see someone like playing a really cool deck, we will potentially steal it and try it to play it ourselves. But we may have covered all of our bases. I don't see anything else that pops out to me. Power balance is terrible, but I want to waste all my play points. Yeah, that card does not seem very good at all, but more power to you, certainly. Yeah, I think we're good. It's 10:45. We could maybe build an Eldrazi deck. Is this card good, Chaz? Is Devourer of Destiny playable? Maybe we could. Yeah, Wasteland Battle Mage was a card I was kind of interested in. Wait, is Wasteland Battle Mage the card I was thinking of? There were a couple of things. I think the mana is going to be tough to make. You need, like, it's a colored colored Eldrazi deck in ways that, like, I don't know how it would look. Let's see if I can put something together. I might give up on this one because I think an Eldrazi Stompy deck would take a lot of tuning. But I do agree, Battle Mage does a lot of things that you would want, because a lot of the things that kicked Eldrazi's ass, that it sucks that they exist, are stuff like Murktide Regent, or Uro, or like Leyline Binding, or the One Ring, or Blood Moon. Although I guess this card isn't very good against Blood Moon, because you need green. But like a potentially main deckable way to deal with a lot of problem cards could be interesting. Is there anything to dress down Null Drift? Or someone else in chat was talking about playing it in Sifle Knot. Dress down Null Drifter is kind of a sick 1-2. Or 2-3, I guess, but you know what I mean. Which set has actual more colorless in-cost Eldrazi. Yeah, I think Wizards was pretty aware of that when designing a lot of these. Like, they made sure that they weren't super fucked up with Eldrazi, with Eye of Ugin. Although, like, Glaring Fleshraker kind of fucks, right? Just like all your Eldrazi gain ETB, deal 2 damage. The problem is that, like, the Eldrazi Stompy deck doesn't really get to play Ugin's Labyrinth, which is, like, kind of awkward. Because, like, you need to be a... Yeah, maybe you could just get away with Herald of it that heralds the end, Glaring Fleshraker, Wastecape Battle Mage, maybe. And maybe, like, the 3-drop guy, too? Is there a way to kind of search by, like, MH3 cards with Devoid? It's really obnoxious that half of them are just colorless cards, and then the other half all have Devoid, and I can't look at them all in the same place. All of the Scryfall knowers already left. Can we sort by in set MH3 Oracle Devoid? Haha! God, I'm so smart, chat. Eldrazi Linebreaker. Pretty powerful card. People were also talking about Thief of Existence, but I think that card feels... Where's Thief of Existence? When you cast a spell, exile one not target non-creature, non-land permanent. Your opponent controls with mana value 4 or less. If you do, Thief of Existence gains when you leave draw a card. Yeah, the Thief does not seem as good to me. It is kind of like a Skyclave-ish effect. Non-creature's a little rough, though, huh? I guess it's a green card, so that makes sense. Yeah, I think the good 3-drop is probably Flesh Raker. What is it? Myco Spawn Grab Crate. Oh, now we're rapidly losing the plot. I don't know what half these cards do, chat. Sowing Myco Spawn. Oh yeah, this is not an Eldrazi card, but this is kind of a sicko card. This is like maybe a post card. I don't know. I'm not a post player, but like delete one of your opponent's lands, get a post, right? 5 mana, 6 mana. That's kind of a lot. Maybe not. Are any of these other Devoid cards any good? No. 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 Not really. No. Probably fine, but not interesting. Territory color. God, that's so much text. Skittering Precursor. It's terrible. 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 Emrakul's Messenger. Yeah, it's not a real magic card. Eldrazi Repurposer. Whenever you cast this spell and when it dies, you make a spawn. Okay. So the issue is that like a lot of these want to make spawns to cast bigger creatures, but like an Eldrazi Stompy deck doesn't really want to cast bigger creatures, right? So you want the aggressive ones. And there are a couple ones that are aggressive. There are a few of them that let you beat down. Mostly Linebreaker and... Whoops. Alright, let's do it. Let's do it. It's 1050. We can make something happen. So, I guess... MH3 Eldrazi Stompy. I guess one thing that was itching at the back of my mind was, can we, like, make this a Mox Diamond deck? Is that insane? Because you suddenly were a colored Eldrazi deck, which is scary. But, like, can we be, like, an Urza's Saga Mox Diamond Eldrazi deck? To kind of supplement some of those issues? Let's do Karn. I guess while I have Angie Doom up, I'll just put them in there right there. Let's get all the good ones first. Discard extra Eyes of Eugene. Yeah, I mean, Eye of Ugin's actually a little bit awkward in this deck at this point. To the point. Are we allowed? Is like Reality Smasher even like a 2024 power level card? Yeah, Mox Diamond more because this deck wants fast mana and also like wants colors and wants a bunch of like utility lands. Smasher might not even be where this deck wants to be anymore, huh? This deck has so many cards it's going to be impossible to, like, have all these, like, fake cards. Like, how I've been, like, putting in cards that aren't on Moto. This deck is, like, so many imaginary Eldrazi bullshit. Yeah, Mimic having 1 toughness is super rough in a Bowmaster world. Not even sure if you're allowed to, like, play that card. You'd probably still be an Endless 1 deck, though. Yeah, Smasher might not make the final draft, honestly. It's just so... And, like, the other thing cool about Urza Saga is you get, like, Lava Spur Boots to, like, haste a lot of your big creatures. I keep seeing the cards, like, wanting to play Glaring Fire. Alright, step 1 is I need to figure out if this card's bait. Is this card... This card might be good, right? So it's like... I think it's bait. I think it. So it's designed, I think, to be an Ugin's Labyrinth enabler. That's kind of the whole purpose of the card, right? It does something early and then gets pitched to Ugin's Labyrinth, and then if you're flooding out, you can pick it up and cast it. It's like a reasonable spell. Like, historically, Eldrazi Stompy did like to play Once Upon a Time, which is, like, kind of interesting. This card is similar to Once Upon a Time, but notably Once Upon a Time was mostly good because you were, like, it just increased your density of soul lands, and like Eye of Ugin was the best card in your deck, and you just wanted to find that and like play 3 Eldrazi Mimics and then smash them. But yeah, I don't think you can really do Ugin's Labyrinth unless you're like an Eldrazi post style deck, in which case, like, I don't know why you're playing Ugin's Labyrinth when you have 14 other soul lands in your deck already. Yeah, you're probably not allowed to be a Devourer of Destiny deck, huh? It's like almost. It's like 7's like not that hard to get to if your deck is just all soul lands. And like cast spell, exile like Murktide or Beans or Binding or something is kind of neat. Let me just put together the Mox Diamond list that's in my head. And it's probably gonna be bad. So what do we play? You want Wakescape Battle Mage, notably like Mox Diamond or Lotus Petal or something similar, or like Elvish Spirit Guide does let you like kick this. Oh no, then you can't cast this normal costs. You can't. Oh fuck, Wakescape Battle Mage is so bad against Blood Moon, huh? This is just impossible to actually get into play. Fuck. Maybe it's too late, chat. Maybe we can't get this working. Maybe we can't cook this Eldrazi deck. Maybe we leave it to somebody else, or we cook if we cook it on Friday. And yeah, this is not quite coming together for me. I can like see some of the pieces moving around, but also I just don't like that there's so many cards that I can't just type in and like look at a deck list on Moto. Like, I want to play Fleshraker, It the Herald's the End, probably Wakescape Battle Mage, probably like Eldrazi Linebreaker. And it's just like so many cards that just fully don't exist on Moto that I can't like represent it in a way that is visually like pleasing to me. So like maybe we'll cook this on Friday if we have like more time. I'm gonna be streaming for a while, and I only have like these 5 decks or whatever. So maybe this makes it in. Maybe this sneaks in. Maybe I'll think about it more off stream as well. I'll just leave this in my in my deck list files. 4 Ancient Tomb, 4 Thought Knot, 4 Reality Smasher, 4 Lens 1. Perfect. We've solved it, chat. We've built the perfect Eldrazi deck list. But yeah, it's like 11 o'clock, so let's just find someone to host instead. I think we did pretty good. What do we got here? Let's take a quick perusal. We got Mono White D&T with Felia and Witch Enchanter and White Orchid Phantom. We got 60 card Mono White D&T with White Orchid Phantom and Witch Enchanter. We have Mono Black Scam with Creation of Avacyn with Barrowgoyf. I think those are the only new cards. There's a world that I can shift this deck and make it more of a Necro Dominance deck potentially, and maybe that's like a different deck entirely. Maybe it's like not a scam deck, but maybe it's just like a Mono Black Stompy deck that doesn't use the graveyard and does want like just a bunch of like fast mana and shield dreads and stuff. Although like fast mana is really bad with Necro Dominance, like Ancient Tomb, not really doing it for a Necro Dominance deck. But there's also a way to build this that we are maybe an Ancient Tomb deck. Why do I only have 9 lands? Is that insane? What happened? Oh, I have like 13 lands. I have more agony, so I'm getting 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay, that makes more sense, yeah. What was I saying? There's a world that we build this deck with Ancient Tombs and more Barrowgoyfs and less in on a bunch of Black Pips and not in on the creation of Avacyn stuff. We built this deck, which is like, this deck is really a mess. I don't know what I see the vision here. I just don't know. I think it's gonna take someone that has a lot more brain cells than I do to figure this shit out. Or maybe it's just unplayable. I think the Simulacrum Synthesizer deck fell off pretty hard. Maybe having 8 Simulacrum Synthesizers is enough to like try to force these payoffs to be better. I will try this deck, and it probably just won't work. We'll maybe try to cook with it more. This deck will probably be middling to bad. Wait, hang on. Importantly, while we're going through these decks, let's remember to put the Gemstone Caverns back into this deck, like I talked about. Cavern. Happened to that random Paradox Engine deck? You mean the like the Turbo Forge? That deck's like always kind of been floating around as like a random like gotcha sort of creative technique oops deck that's never really that good, but sometimes just like gets people. This deck I do think is still like 1 2 and a blue card away from being good. This deck really wants a way to actually finish a game in short order, but maybe like I think this deck benefits a lot from 8 Chrome Mox, 8 MDFCs. And then we have this, which is just like Moonstompy with the 4 extra Stone Rains, the new MDFC. So that's like 1 2 3 4 plus like 2 half decks. So it's like 5 decks for Friday, and then we also have like Eldrazi as a potential 6th deck if we can actually cook that. Ugh. I think Mox Diamond. I could see the vision for a Mox Diamond Eldrazi deck. I think with like Urza's Saga, Wasteland, a bunch of Soul Lands, Eldrazi Temple, Mox Diamond, Once Upon a Time, and then, but then you need enough colored sources to cast the colored cards. Maybe all the colored cards suck except for Linebreaker. Maybe Linebreaker sucks too, though. Because like some of the cards that you want are just It the Herald's the End and Glaring Fleshraker. I don't know. That one, yeah, that one I might have to think about a lot on off stream and try to figure it out. But I think this is a good starting point. Yeah, Herald having synergy with Constructs. Herald has synergy with the Scions. Linebreaker also has synergy with the Scions. Like, I think that there's something. I want to say there's something there. I just need to stop thinking about it. It's like 11 o'clock at night. If it's all just top end, the lane is the only thing that gets spawned in new deck. I mean, we're talking about all like the cheap cards that are spawning in the new deck, right? Where I have like a 2-drop and like 2/3 drops or something that are potentially playable in like Eldrazi Stompy. Oblivion and Plays of Creation. Yeah, this is Creation of Avacyn. So I will tweet out these deck lists probably tomorrow since it's really late and I don't want to like make all the text files on this, but I'm going to make a thread of all of my deck lists and kind of the thoughts, like try to short form the thoughts into one tweet. I'll provide all the deck lists in, text version on the images that will have the correct text of the real cards and not the fucking oubliettes and the 8 Shatter Skull Smashings or whatever. I'll put in the real MH3 cards. So look out for that tomorrow on my Twitter. I'll probably post it after work tomorrow. But yes, also, most importantly, is look out for the stream on Friday. I'll tweet out the details again, probably as it gets closer, tomorrow or Thursday. But I'll be streaming from 11 a.m. to until I break, until I truly am just, my brain is sludge and I cannot stream anymore. We will be playing as much Legacy as we can with Early Access MH3. I'll be excited to try out some of this stuff, see what other people are cooking, see if we can try to steal some of their ideas. I'm very excited to just kind of see the new world of Legacy, since this current one is like really, really boring. I'm not gonna lie. The mono scam meta that's being fought by Moonstompy and like nothing else is really existing in reasonable capacity is just really has really gotten boring to me. So I'm very excited to see new cards flourish. I guess we probably maybe wanted opposite change in this deck too, but whatever. I need to stop thinking about these decks and go the fuck to sleep, huh? Let's find someone to host. Who's streaming? Who is streaming? Anyone playing MTGO? Oh, Learning Legacy delving into Delver. Left Coast. I've never seen this person before. Left Coast's F415. Hell yeah, more Legacy players. Always great though. Let's go host Left Coasts here. Shout out to whoever just followed. Arc Beetle, thank you for the follow. Just as we're ending the stream here. Let us all go raid Left Coasts. Thank you everybody for watching. Hope to see you all Friday for a great early access MH3 stream. Very excited for it. Had a lot of fun brewing. I enjoyed this more than I thought I would. Kind of just brewing on stream. It's really hard to vocalize all my ideas and put pen to paper, especially like 'cause I'm really scatterbrained, and like get sidetracked a lot. But chat was great. I had a good time. Hope you all enjoyed this kind of departure from a lot of my normal streams. I will see all of you, or at least most of you, on Friday. Have a good one, everybody.